Game 2 of the short 2-game series against the San Francisco Gulls. The San Luis Obispo Blues fell to SF last night by a score of 7-4, and they look for redemption tonight at Sinsheimer Stadium. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. My name is Nate Mills, as always, joined alongside my pregame show host, Mark Robinson, as we get you set for this CCL North matchup at Sinsheimer Stadium. Mark, here we have some things to learn about the San Francisco Gulls that we didn't quite touch on last night.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about this team last night. I like to get into a little bit of the history of these CCL teams, non-conference teams too, that come to Sinsheimer and face the San Luis Obispo Blues. This one is very interesting, very fun topic to talk about. The San Francisco Seagulls, founded in 2003 by Mark Caviglio and Doug Price. It was originally only a summer ball team that started out playing in the Golden State Collegiate Baseball League, the GSCBL. Caviglio was a notable coach at City College of San Francisco before transferring over to coaching the San Francisco Seagulls, which is super awesome to think about. They won the GSCBL championship back-to-back years in 2022 and 2023. And then, Nate, as we talked about yesterday, they are also a brand-new addition to the CCL this year. This is their first season playing in the California Collegiate League. Do they get to play in the playoffs?
I don't think they do. This is currently their audition year, just like the San Diego Sunrays and the Alameda Merchants. They're auditioning. It's like the Ventura Pirates did last year as well to participate in the CCL. So they're filling out their resume right now, and they just snapped a 4-game losing streak against the San Luis Obispo Blues team that has been in the California Collegiate League for quite some years now. So making a solid case after what has been a chaotic offseason with a bunch of teams moving around, coming in of the CCL and leaving the CCL, most notably the Healdsburg Prune Packers and the Lincoln Potters. So the CCL North is looking a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, with the South is staying mostly intact.
It's cool to see all these teams moving around and hopping in and out of the league. To include as many summer ball teams in such a big and well-recognized summer ball league in California, which is probably one of the best places to play baseball in the summer.
Yeah, this is
really cool to see.
This is the place for California Summer League baseball, and really it's a nice thing to see the sport growing on this side of the country. Typically, you see summer ball teams in the Midwest with the Northwoods, obviously Cape Cod in the Northeast, and the Coastal Plain League out in the southern region of the United States. We have the WCL, the West Coast League, but the CCL on the rise as it's rapidly growing each and every summer.
Absolutely. Founder Dom Caviglio, as we said, coached at City College of San Francisco. He coached the Seagulls for over a decade, but he just recently stepped down. His record as a coach for the Gulls was a 341 win to 224 loss record. That is a lot of games coached.
That's a lot of games coached, a lot of games winning as well.
Absolutely. Super cool to see for Caviglio. He passed the role on to Dom Sebastiani, who previously played for the Gulls for 3 years. He's currently the assistant manager for our not-so-next-door neighbors down at Allen Hancock College. Super close to Sinsheimer here, but cool to see him kind of getting involved in all sorts of different roles all up and down the coast of California.
Yeah, able to make the quick drive over here from Santa Maria to come coach for his San Francisco Seagulls. It's nice to have a youthful presence there, I'm sure, in the dugout for the Gulls as well as they play their first season in the CCL.
Definitely. Well, as much as we'd like to keep talking to you guys about Seagulls, we are going to move on and break down a little bit of last night's game where the Blues fell to the Seagulls 7-4, and the Seagulls broke their 4-game losing streak. Nate, I have 3 talking points of improvement that I think the Blues should take a look at and factor into today's game. I'm going to introduce them to you one at a time, and I want you to talk me through them a little bit and talk about how you think that these can improve for the Blues. The first one on the pitching side is throwing strikes.
Yeah, last night was really the first time we saw pitchers struggle to get pitches over the strike zone. Cody Albright was last night's starter. He's a guy that is leading the team in strikeouts, and he just had difficulties finding the zone. He only had 3 in his 4 innings of work. And personally, I think it was just because he was working on his secondary pitch. We know that Cody Albright likes to attack hitters with that fastball every time on first pitch and waits to see for them to hit it. This time he didn't wait for the hitters to hit the fastball. He just kept working on the slider. He kept missing missing it out in the zone. And even with the fastball, he was picking away on the plate to right-handed hitters, which is something we haven't seen with Albright. So I think the key, especially for today, John Damazonio getting the nod for San Luis Obispo, just keep pounding it inside with the fastball. He's been, I think, their most talented starter for the Blues this summer, and he ramps that fastball up there, topping at 94 miles an hour. If he can just get in on the hands of these Seagulls hitters, I think it's going to be an easy day for him.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've talked about Albright on the pregame show a handful of times and how he has such a consistent start usually, and he's able to just put fastballs in the zone over and over and over again, and it gives batters trouble. I think just going back to the fundamentals and doing what works is what's really going to work for Albright. And our second pitcher of the night last night, we saw Eddie Tierney on the mound. I remember during the production of the game, sitting alongside color commentator Ryan Giacomini, he was talking about on that sidearm pitch, the early release was just getting the inside of the plate, and for right-handed batters was even striking the body of the batters, which was super difficult. So just continuing for a pitcher like Tierney just to continue to find the release and figure out what works in order to get that ball in the strike zone is what's really going to help a pitcher with the style that Tierney has.
Yeah, and that was the hope bringing in Eddie Tierney to relieve Cody Albright, was to throw those strikes, because that's what he's been so good at this season. He's had very quick innings so far in his innings of work, and that sidearm release is very effective, as I talked about in the broadcast last night, how the slider and the fastball are coming at the same exact angle, and it's very difficult for the hitters to read what it is out of the hand. So he came in there, and instead of being effective, right as you said, he was hitting guys, and he was missing inside of the right-handed batters, and was just really all over the strike zone. And just the whole night in general last night for the pitching staff was just difficult getting the ball over the plate.
Absolutely. For these pitchers that are coming in for the Blues today, just making sure you're locking in and figuring out your own game and what works for you, getting that ball into the zone, that's what's going to be, obviously, the best thing that the Blues can do. Moving on to the second point of improvement that I noticed, we talked about a little bit about this before we even started the pregame show, minimizing the fielding errors. I think we haven't seen a game without an error for the Blues yet this season. They had 2 errors last night. What's the best way this team can minimize the errors and go back to the fundamentals of fielding?
Really, you're not going to make any corrections during a game when you're fielding. I think it all starts when you first arrive to the field. You have to come with the mindset during batting practice, during catch play, during fungos, that you're actively working on things to improve on your fielding. And for the case here with a lot of the Blues defenders, it's the ground balls working down to up. There's a lot of kinks in this dirt out here at Sinsheimer, and the grass on the infield is a little thicker, so it's a lot of contrast in you're working with as an infielder. So I think it's just trying to read how this field plays and working down to up using your body, and that's going to be the biggest key for the Blues. Now, that's one thing. Another is corralling the throws. The 2 errors yesterday that we were looking at, Mark, is 2 errors from Braden Mondew. Now, he's not in tonight's lineup, but over there at third base, he had some trouble getting the ball over to first, and that goes back to my point in catch play. Actively be thinking about putting yourself in that situation. I'm at third right here. Let's picture myself at the hot corner, getting it over to my guy during catch play. And once you do that multiple times in warm-ups, and it'll eventually translate into the game, and that's what summer ball is all about, just getting those repetitions.
Absolutely. I really like the first point you made about focusing on locking in and minimizing those errors, not during the game, but when you get to the stadium. Not only is reading the way that the dirt and the grass and where you're at on the infield at Sinsheimer going to help, but on a psychological standpoint too, getting your practice in, envisioning that it's a game scenario, and when a ball is hit to you during BP, think about what you'd be doing if an actual runner on the opposing team was trying to beat the throw out to first. How are you going to effectively get that ball to first base without having an out of control, off-target throw? The psychological aspect of it is just as important as the actual physical fundamentals. And I think taking all of that into consideration is what's really going to help this team today.
Yeah, around the diamond tonight, there's a lot of good players out there on defense. At the hot corner, it's Casey Borba, who has just really impressed me with his glove action down the third base line. Even in batting practice, he makes some acrobatic throws and some athletic dives to his left over there at the hot corner. So very excited to see what he can do tonight. Sam Ardois is returning to short. He's got a couple good plays there. Very athletic, very rangy. And Braden Jeffries has just been so impressive early on this season at second base. So hoping to see a little less errors for the Blues today, and hopefully they can get their throws over to Dylan Getz safely.
Absolutely. Taking a look at our third and final talking point of improvement for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Before we get underway with the final game of this weekend in just under 10 minutes here, patience at the plate when these guys are hitting. I think these guys need to be more on time with their swings. Don't approach the ball too early. At the end of the day, it's summer ball. You need to just focus on the pitch that's coming in, find the pitches that you like, and figure out what is going to work best for you. What do you think about the patience aspect of the hitting from the Blues?
Yeah, and once again, I think it all starts in warm-ups as well, right? I mean, it all starts in the batting bubble. It's easy to lose focus in summer ball. It's a beautiful day in San Luis Obispo. You're in a chill part of the country. You're having fun with your buds out there. But you have to remember to come up with a plan when you step inside that batting practice bubble. You can't just be pull happy going down the left field line if you're a right-handed hitter. You have the wind blowing out down that corner. Work on having boring batting practice. That was something that was taught to me at Palomar College my second year playing, and that essentially means just spraying the ball to all parts of field. You're not going to light up anyone's faces and have loud contact banging off the wall, and that's okay because you're working on situational hitting and putting barrels when it matters. So I think that's what the Blues need to work on, and it shows here in their at-bats as they're early on nearly every pitch. Chop fouls down the third baseline, being out in front on fastballs off the end of the bat. So I think the Blues, once again, it all starts with your preparation heading into the games, and they have to do it today against the Seagulls if they want to split this series.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, we are just under 10 minutes away from first pitch here at Sinsheimer Stadium as we see Blues manager Dean Traynor and Seagulls manager Dom Sebastiani meet at the plate for the final game of this weekend's 3-game series and the 2-game series against the Seagulls. Nate, thank you very much for having me for today's pregame show. As usual, it is always a pleasure to come up here and talk about baseball with you.
Thanks for joining me, Mark. Stay with us as we will have first pitch in just under 10 minutes on the SLO Blues streaming network.
Seagulls today. Leading off will be number 1, Isaiah Landry. He'll be followed by number 29, Jake Brewer. Then number 26, Ethan Brown. And batting cleanup for the Seagulls, number 8, Josh Hansen. In the 5 spot, it's number 10, Andrew Tinsley. Then number 12, Logan Stelling. Batting 7th will be number 15, Matt Moreno. He'll be followed by number 6, Ty Holm. And the 9th batter for the Seagulls today, number 34, Shane Stanley. The starting pitcher for the San Francisco Seagulls is the left-hander, number 28, Garrett Plata. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the starting lineups for your San Luis Obispo Blues. Leading off for the Blues, wearing number 35, the center fielder, Jariah Lewis. He's followed by number 4, the
Game 5 of a 5-game homestand at Sinsheimer Stadium as the San Luis Obispo Blues host the San Francisco Gulls for the second day in a row on a beautiful afternoon in San Luis Obispo. Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the broadcast booth. My name is Nate Mills, calling the ball strikes and much more on the SLO Blues streaming network as we get you set for this CCL matchup and the last time that the Gulls and the Blues will face each other this season. Before we get you prepped for this game, let's take a look at who's playing defense for San Luis Obispo this afternoon. Behind the dish, it's Owen Estabrook. At first, it's Dylan Getz. Second base, Braden Jeffries. Third, Casey Borba. Sam Ardois at shortstop. Outfield left to right is Max Lane, Jariah Lewis, and then Jake Hicksonbaugh returning to the field for San Luis Obispo. Starting for the Blues this afternoon, it's John Damazonio, the right-hander from St. Mary's University. John has been one of the Blues' best so far this season in 13 innings of work. He has 12 strikeouts and no earned runs. That's right, no runs in 13 innings as he makes his third start for the Blues this summer. Doing the designated hitting for San Luis Obispo, it's Brendan Comerford hanging out on the bench right now. So let's take a look at the 1 through 9 for the San Francisco Seagulls. Leading things off, once again, it's Isaiah Landry. Jake Brewer batting second, Ethan Roan third. Josh Hansen cleans things up. Then it's Andrew Tinsley, Logan Stelling, Matt Moreno, Kai Holm. And rounding things out in the 9 spot, it's Shane Stanley. Damazonio, last time he pitched, it was at Sonoma against the Stompers. He went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. The St. Mary's Gale has been lights out this season for San Luis Obispo and hopes to continue to do so here against the Seagulls. Talked about it in the pregame show with Mark Robinson, my co-host, and that the Blues need to figure out how to throw strikes over the plate. Last game, they really struggled against that with the Seagulls, and it's what lost them that game. When they weren't walking guys, they were leaving pitches covering way too much of the strike zone, and they were just getting demolished by these Gulls hitters, and eventually a 7-4 loss for the Blues. So leading things off, it's Isaiah Landry, the center fielder for San Francisco. Last night, he was 1 for 4. He stole a bag, scored a run, and struck out. As Landry steps in, Casey Borba shakes hands with the third base coach and the field umpire down the third base line. And Damazonio comes set from the stretch. Deep sigh before the first pitch. Here it comes at 2:02 p.m. First pitch from Damazonio is missed outside for ball 1. 83 degrees at first pitch here in San Luis Obispo. Another postcard day here on the Central Coast. 1-0 is hit in the air on the right side. Hicksonbaugh comes in on it, and he makes the grab as it was falling fast. A top spin pop fly from Isaiah Landry is the first out of the inning. Yeah, Hicksonbaugh thought he was camped underneath that one, but I think recognized the spin just a little too late. Bit of a 12-6 action, like a curveball out there on the pop fly and right. Hicksonbaugh barely makes the snag as he catches it in the breadbasket. So now it's Jake Brewer, the first baseman, batting second. Didn't see action last night against San Luis Obispo as Damazonio misses outside with the fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Brewer this season has played in 3 games, 10 at-bats, 3 hits. I think a 300 average, 3 runs batted in. The Kenyatta College Colt swings and misses at the fastball upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. A tranquil afternoon here at Sinsheimer Stadium, and fans trickle in and they grab their frozen treats and their mimosas. Trying to combat the heat on a warm afternoon. The hats are out, the straw hats shading their faces as there's strike 2 from Damazonio. Fans are mostly electing to sit on the grass as it is absorbing all that heat, and the moisture probably feels good. Here's the 1-2 from the St. Mary's Gale. Fastball missing upstairs, count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brewer from San Bruno, California, where the Seagulls play, entering his sophomore season at Kenyatta College. On the 2-2, fastball missing outside, sliding to his right is Estabrook. 3 balls and 2 strikes. In his past season with the Colts, Brewer hit .377 with a .566 slugging and a .535 on base, walking 12 times to his 9 strikeouts. Payoff pitch is squibbed behind home plate. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Had some fun there in his 53 at-bats and his 23 games played. Just under half a season in his first year in junior college. 1 home run with his 7 doubles and 20 hits, fueling that .566 slugging. Still looking for his first extra base hit of the summer, and at bat number 11, as the fastball is up at his eyes and it's taken for ball 4. First base runner of the afternoon for the San Francisco Seagulls comes off a full count walk to Jake Brewer. 1 gone and a runner at first now for Ethan Rose, the second baseman batting third. Roan last game was, I'd say, the most productive hitter for San Francisco. He went 2 for 3 with a walk, a sacrifice fly, scored a run. He also struck out. First offering from Damazonio missing upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Roan committed to East Central University after playing his first 2 seasons at Murray State College in Oklahoma. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike 1. So far this season, in 10 games played and 30 at-bats, he has a .267 average, 2 extra base hits, a double, and a home run. That double coming a few games ago before the Blues. 1-1, fastball just missing outside. Now 2 balls and 1 strike to Roan. Roan rocking the Ocean Mint and Rose Bruce Bolt batting gloves with the black Bruce Bolt batting sleeve, or throwing sleeve. 2-1 is swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman. Roan returning to the lineup last night in the 3 spot. He's doing so again today. Him and Landry are the only players from last night's contest to return to their respective positions, as the pick over to first is not in time to get Jake Brewer. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 runner on first here in the top of the first inning at Sinsheimer Stadium. Damazonio picks over to first, close, but not in time to get Brewer. Damazonio, a St. Mary's Gale who was awarded the WCC All-Freshman Team Honors back in 2023, where he had a 3.26 ERA and 19 1/3 innings pitch. There's a pass ball taken upstairs for strike 3. Damazonio clips the top edge of the strike zone and the first bottle of hot sauce for the Gale. So now 2 gone here with a runner on first base after Damazonio collects his first strikeout of the day. It's now Josh Hansen, the DH, batting fourth for San Francisco. That's Damazonio's 23rd strikeout of the year with the Blues. In his career with St. Mary's, he has 34 in his 36 innings of work. First pitch has to duck out of the way of that fastball up and in as Josh Hansen. And he leaves unscathed as he circles back into the batter's box. We'll do it again at 1 ball and no strikes. That was coming in hot up at his face. He had to roll out of the way of that one. I'm sure he's got to recollect himself there as the home plate umpire brushes the dirt off home plate. Hansen entering his first season with USC next year as a San Francisco native. Spent 2 seasons down in Florida, his upperclassman years in high school at IMG Academy, as the fastballs blow by on 1 ball and 1 strike. So far this summer, he's batting .286, a homer, a triple, and 2 doubles from his 10 hits. 10 walks to his 9 strikeouts. Is the MLB draft prospect. 1-1, misses outside from Damazonio. Looking to boost his stock in the 2024 MLB draft when he attends the area code games in early August down at the University of San Diego. Also is going to be playing for the Trotsky baseball travel team at a Perfect Game National Championship tournament. 2-1, and he loses his bat. Josh Hansen fouled this one into the Blues dugout. Ball goes into the Blues dugout, bat goes into his own. Looks like it caught a piece of Logan Stelling, who was sitting in the hole right at the entrance of the dugout. Close call there, as Andrew Tinsley had to get out of the way as well. So we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 gone here, a runner at first. Taking off for second is Brewer, and he struck out looking. Back-to-back Ks for John Damazonio, and the side is retired. We'll head to the bottom of the first scoreless. I'm Nate Mill. Bottom of the first inning is brought to you by Apex Technical Sales. You can find them at glenair-apex.com. Apex Technical Sales. We're here to make you successful. John Damazonio cruises through 1, 2, 3, 4 of the San Francisco Seagulls lineup as we're now in the bottom of the first inning, and let's introduce to you the Seagulls defensive alignments. Behind the dish, it's Shane Stanley. At first base, it's Jake Brewer. Playing over at second, Ethan Rohn. At third, Matt Moore. And at short, it's Kai Holm. Outfield left to right, Andrew Tinsley, Isaiah Landry, and Logan Stelling. On the mound for the Seagulls, it's Garrett Plata. Last time he was out, 2 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Light work against the Sonoma Stompers, where they won that game 19-1. Leading things off for San Luis Obispo, it's Jariah Lewis, a different look for Dean Trainer's roster tonight, as he takes a look at strike 1. So let's go 1 through 9 for this Blues lineup. Jariah Lewis leads it off. Sam Marjois on the 2 spot. Dylan Getz third. Cleaning things up, it's Casey Borba, then Max Lane, Owen Estabrook, Brendan Comerford, Jake Hicksenbaugh, and Braden Jeffries rounding things out in the 9 spot for the Blues. Jariah Lewis, last time he was up, it was last night. He pinched hit against the San Francisco Seagulls late in the game. He came in to replace Gavin Constantine in the 9th inning. The bottom of the 9th, where he flew out to left field. Curveball off the hands of Plata goes way behind the back. Wow, and he really lost control of that breaking pitch as Lewis just stood in the batter's box. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the San Jose State outfielder. As he swings and pops this one down the left field line, Tinsley moving to his right and foul ground, slides and makes the grab. Incredible catch from the left fielder, Tinsley, and there's 1 gone here in the first inning. Tinsley got a real great jump moving to his right on that pop fly, and especially off the left-handed bat of Jariah Lewis. It was leaking from fair territory into foul ground, and he did the right thing as he was approaching the wall rapidly. You're supposed to slide into it to prevent any injuries, and that's exactly what Tinsley did. So now it's the 2-hole hitter, Sam Ardois. In last night's game, he was 0 for 3 with a strikeout, and then was eventually pinch hit for as he looks at the fastball upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Braden Jeffries came in to replace Artois in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jeffries eventually walked and was stranded at second base after Artois' 0 for 3 night. The 1-0 just missing downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to the raging Cajun shortstop. Growing up in Moss Bluff, Louisiana, he will now return to Lafayette, which is just an hour away from his hometown, after spending his first season as a freshman with the Longhorns at the University of Texas, Austin. 3 straight balls to Ardois as he awaits the offering from Plata. Left-hander comes home. Fastball missing downstairs, and there's a walk to Ardois. Sam Ardois gets the 1-out walk, and that's his 6th of the season with 1 gone. Runner at first for Dylan Getz, the first baseman who made his debut last night for San Luis Obispo. A 2-for-4 afternoon with a strikeout. The left-handed batter from Skyline Community College. First pitch missing inside from Garrett Plata. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's some more on Plata. He's also a St. Mary's Gale, just like John Damazonio. The 2 teammates going head-to-head in this afternoon matchup in CCL play. And swinging and missing upstairs, it's Dylan Getz. He's entering his redshirt junior year. He redshirted his first season and didn't play last year as a true junior for the Gales. But in his sophomore season, he had a 4.01 ERA and 24 2/3 inning pitch. Pick over to first, and Sam Ardois saw it right away as he scampers back to the bag safely. 21 strikeouts in those 24 2/3 innings pitched with St. Mary's. 15 walks as well with those 11 earned runs. Ardois takes off for second base. The throw from the knees from Stanley is in time. Sam Ardois is caught stealing, and there's now 2 gone here in the bottom of the first inning. Ardois was looking for his 2nd stolen base of the season, and he awkwardly stumbled into second base for the 2nd out of the inning. So now, after getting caught stealing at second, Dylan Getz takes a look at strike 2. Deuces wild to the left-hander from Skyline Community College. Currently uncommitted, entering his junior year, and he gets sat down on strikes. Dylan Getz looks up an off-speed pitch right down the middle of the plate, and the Blues go in order. We'll head to the top of the 2nd scoreless. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Second inning here at Sinsheimer Stadium, a scoreless affair in the CCL matchup, the San Francisco Gulls and the San Luis Obispo Blues. Damazonio heading back out there. After getting 2 strikeouts this past inning, he's now up on his strikeout numbers this season as the foul ball shoots right into the VIP section just to stage right of the press box. That's the closest a ball has gotten in here. And in my 2 years of broadcasting for the Blues, there is yet to be a ball to rattle around this booth. Stay tuned. 1-0 in there for strike two to Andrew Tinsley, the Murray State College uncommitted outfielder who spent his first season of college at Odessa, the Frisco, Texas native. And he's a part of that pipeline from the manager Dominic Sebastiani. As the fastball misses up and away from Damazonio, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mark talked about it on the pregame show briefly, but Coach Dom, formerly an assistant coach at Murray State College, now an assistant coach at Allen Hancock. He's brought over a couple players from Oklahoma, and Tinsley is no exception as he looks at that ball low and away for ball 2. This season, Tinsley got the night off, but he's batting .226, 7 hits in his 31 at-bats. 1 extra base hit, it's a double, with 8 runs batted in. 2-2 sent straight back, but stopped by the netting. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In his past 2 seasons with the Aggies, he had a resurgence in 2024. In 174 at-bats, he had 62 hits, good for a .356 batting average. And how about this number? 23 doubles as he hits this one into shallow left center field, and that falls for a base hit. A leadoff single for Andrew Tinsley, and he's aboard here in the second inning. How about that? 23 doubles. I don't think I've ever seen a number quite like that in that number of at-bats at this level of baseball. Feeling that .586 slugging percentage and continuing to do damage here for his goals. A leadoff single. There goes the no-hitter from Damazonio. So now it's Logan Stelling, the right fielder, batting 6th, wearing 1 batting glove on his left hand, the right-handed hitter, who is committed to Memphis after spending 2 years or 1 year at West Valley Community College and Mission Community College before that. A rising junior with the Tigers. He swings and misses at the fastball for strike 1. Damazonio being very effective with the four-seam. He's touching up to 95 miles an hour. A flamethrower from St. Mary's. Stelling on the 1-1, swings and misses for strike 2. Stelling batting .190 on the year in his 21 at-bats. There's 4 hits, 1 run batted in. 8 strikeouts to his 5 walks. Stelling an outfielder, but can also pitch. 6 appearances last year for West Valley Community College. As the fastball just misses outside, that'll fill it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ball gets over the head of Damazonio, but recovering it is Ardois at second base. And correction on the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Stelling. The future Memphis Tiger with 1 runner on and no one out in a scoreless ball game. Swings and misses for strike 3. There's the 3rd K of the day for Damazonio, and there's now 1 out in the inning. After going so fastball heavy at him, he comes back at him with the slider, getting to fish for it for the 3rd strike. So 1 gone, and it's Matt Moreno, the 3rd baseman, batting 7th. Last night he was 1 for 3, a strikeout, 2 runs batted in, 2 walks, and a double. He returns this afternoon for the Gulls as the fastball from Damazonio misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Damazonio is still trying to get strike 1 to these batters. He appears to be missing inside on the four-seam on everyone he's faced. Big secondary at first from Tinsley. Now he takes off. The throw from Estabrook will be canceled after he bobbles it, trying to transition it from the mitt to his hand. A stolen base from Andrew Tinsley. That's Tinsley's 3rd stolen base of this summer after getting 23 in his 2 seasons at Murray State College. Runner in scoring position now for the Gulls, the first time they've had that this afternoon, as Moreno steps up after 2 RBIs last night. The 2-0 taken down the middle for strike 1. Moreno, an LMU commit, will head down to Southern Los Angeles and play for the Lions next season after hitting and pitching at South Hills High School in Azusa, California. Entering his freshman season, and he nubs this one down the first base line, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This past season, his senior year with the Huskies, he batted .271, 23 hits, 17 runs batted in, 3 doubles, and 2 home runs. And he stands in here with a runner in scoring position, 1 gone, and a 0-0 ball game. D'Amazonia with 1 look at second, now kicks and fires. This one's hit hard on the left side. Ardois with the backhand shuffle throw over to first is offline. Ball gets away from Getz, and coming in to score easily is Andrew Tinsley off the throwing error from Sam Ardois. Seagulls strike first off a throwing error from Sam Ardois. And we talked about on the pregame show, folks, this is just one of the kinks that the Blues have to iron out. The throwing errors are coming to bite them, as it has allowed the first run of the game to come across the score for San Francisco. Earlier this season, it was the difficulty fielding the ground ball, and has since morphed into just playing simple catch in the infield. So only 1 gone here with a runner on first, and now Kai Holm batting as D'Amazonia gets strike 1 on him. 1-0 ball game. Seagulls strike first from the errant throw by Ardois, and Kai Holm, who was 1 for 3 last night, digs in. Also had 2 runs batted in and was hit by a pitch from Eddie Tierney. Holm just spent his first season playing Division I baseball at Coppin State back in Maryland this past spring. Spent his first 2 years at College of San Mateo with the Bulldogs after growing up in Redwood City, California. He's entering his senior year with the Bald Eagles. Last year in Baltimore, he batted .280 with 51 hits, 9 doubles, and 1 home run. Short lead at first base for Matt Moreno. Holds up on the big secondary as Estabrook stops it on the backhand. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kai Holm had more playing time his freshman year with the Bulldogs as opposed to his sophomore. 37 versus his 29 games played. As he back picks over to first, and it's not in time to get Matt Moreno. He was more productive in his 29 game season as a sophomore. 22 hits and 60 at-bats. 14 runs batted in, 4 extra base hits. All of them were doubles. 3-1. This one softly hit up and out of play for strike 2. Filling it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The shortstop batting 8th for the Gulls. 1-0 lead for San Francisco after the errant throw from Sam Ardois to bring around Andrew Tinsley. D'Amazonia comes home, fastball misses upstairs, and there's a 1-out walk. Now 2 runners on for San Francisco as Matt Moreno advances to second and Holm to first. 9-hole hitter, it's Shane Stanley, the catcher, rounding things out for San Francisco today. Like Kai Holm, he also plays college baseball in the state of Maryland, playing for Maryland Eastern Shore after spending his first 2 years at City College of San Francisco. Currently a commit for the Hawks. After a 108 at-bat season last year, 22 hits, good for a .204 average. Some more splits, 326 on base, and a .278 slugging. Not going to punish you with the extra base hits with his fluorescent pink bomb bat as he fouls that one right back into the netting for strike 1. Also listed as a pitcher on point streak, but no pitching stats to be found in his first 2 seasons with the Rams in San Francisco. Taps this one right at home plate. No balls and 2 strikes to Stanley. This past season, he was voted by the American Baseball Coaches Association as a Gold Glove Award winner. He also had the most runners thrown out in the state of California among JUCO players. D'Amazonia with the long pause and a look at second. Now 2. Now comes home on the 0-2. Fastball just missing outside. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tried to climb the ladder against Stanley, but he does a nice job of holding up on that pitch. 3 strikeouts so far in the season in the summer for Shane Stanley and his 16 at-bats. As the fastball is in there for strike 3. Big strikeout from Damazonio as he collects his 4th, and we'll flip it over to the top of the lineup to Isaiah Landry, who popped out to right field last time he was up. 4 Ks in 2 innings for Damazonio, and there's 2 gone with 2 runners on. Landry, the Alabama State Hornet, with 2 runners on. Looks at the slider downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Batting 111 on the season. He got his first hit last night against the Blues. He's 1 for 9 in his 4th start of the season. 3 walks to his 3 strikeouts as he looks at that fastball down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike. Last game, 1 for 4, a stolen bag, scored a run, and also struck out for his 3rd time of the season. Creeping at second is Moreno as Damazonio gives a look. Now it comes home and Estabrook stops the fastball from getting to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Landry was voted the team most valuable player in 2021 in high school, growing up in Pittsburgh, California, and was first team All-League as a senior. He also owns the El Cerrito records for average on-base hits in a season and runs batted in a season. And is now a comms major at Alabama State. 2-1 fastball barely missing upstairs. Fills it up at 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count here to Isaiah Landry, who hit .363 in 113 bats last season for the Hornets. Damazonio, long pause. Now comes home. Fastball in there for a strike. Landry doesn't agree, but it fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners will be going no matter what on the payoff pitch from Damazonio with 2 gone. Corners back up. Infield playing deep. Max Lane playing deep in left field. And the pitch missing outside for ball 4. The rally stays alive for the San Francisco Seagulls as the 3rd walk of this game from Damazonio fills up the bases for Jake Brewer. Brewer walked himself back in the 1st inning and was eventually stranded after Roan and Josh Hansen struck out back-to-back times looking from Damazonio. And what was an easy first for the St. Mary's Gale now has to work a little bit here with the bases loaded and 2 gone as he misses to Brewer for ball 1. Brewer this past season at Kenyatta College, a .377 average, .535 on base, and a .566 slugging. 7 doubles and 1 home run in his 20 hits. Fastball misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Brewer. Another hitter's count from Damazonio. Heading into this game, batting 310 at-bats, 3 runs batted in. 4 strikeouts to his 1 walk. The rising sophomore and Colt from Kenyatta College looks at 3 straight balls from Damazonio. Bases juiced as Brewer digs back in with his baggy pants, a retro look for the right-handed hitting first baseman. Fastball just clips the outside corner. Now 3 balls and 1 strike to Brewer. Damazonio might have gotten a call there. That's a pitch that hasn't been rung up as a strike so far early in this afternoon. Hitters count to Brewer as he chokes up on his bat. 3-1. Fastball, that nudges the outside edge as well, fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. After going 3 straight balls to Jake Brewer, Damazonio retorts back with 3 fastballs clipping the outside half of the zone. Runners going no matter what. Another 3-2 count from John. 2 gone here, 1-0 lead for the Seagulls. Payoff pitch. Check swing taken for strike 3. 5th K of the day for Damazonio, and they leave him loaded here in the 2nd inning. The Seagulls do get 1, though, off a throwing error from Sam Ardois. The Blues look to have an answer in the bottom of the 2nd inning. I'm Nate Mills on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. Middle of the order for the SLO Blues as they look to have an answer for the San Francisco Seagulls. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 runners left on base. Sam Artois with the errant throw to Dylan Getz brought around Andrew Tinsley from second base. And what is now a 1-0 ball game. Blues trailing to San Francisco. As the leadoff batter, Casey Borba, looks at ball 1 up and away. Borba batting fourth and playing third base for the Blues this afternoon. And he hits this one hard on the right side. Roan gobbles it up, flicks it over to first in time for the first out of the inning. Solid contact on the ground from Casey Borba. The 4-3 putout sits him down for the first out of the inning. Now it's Max Lane getting another start at left field after playing there last night. He was 0 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch. Lane, the Harvard Crimson, growing up from Newport Beach, California. Graduated as class valedictorian down at Newport Beach. Showcases some pretty special power in batting practice as well. As they appeal over to first base, he did not go around. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off-speed stuff from Garrett Plata almost gets Lane to go fishing. So Plata has never gone more than 2 innings in his 2 starts for the Seagulls, as Lane swings and misses for strike 2. He's pitched 1 1/3, and there's no one getting hot in the San Francisco bullpen. Can't help but wonder if manager Dom Sebastiani loosening the leash on Plata, as this one's bounced on the right side. Brewer moves to his right. It's a foot race to the bag, and Brewer wins it for the second out of the inning. Unassisted put out from Jake Brewer, and there's 2 gone just like that, with Owen Estabrook digging in. Estabrook, the catcher from Columbia, rocking the powder blue arm sleeve and wearing the retro high pants with the Blues retro Sunday grays. First pitch, fastball missing outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And I think that's a pretty unique tradition that the Blues have, wearing fully gray uniforms at home on Sundays. Not something you see very often. 1-0, swung on and missed for strike 1. And I'm a fan of them. A little disorienting to see the home team wearing gray while the away team wears the white pants with the blue tops. But I think the San Luis scripture really makes it for me across the chest. 1-1, barely clipping the bottom edge of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Estabrook. Started in 25 games last season at Columbia, his true freshman year. Batted .259 for the Lions. Off speed, barely missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Estabrook. 2 home runs, 6 doubles in his 21 hits last season. The backstop out there in New York, as he looks at the fastball down the middle for strike 3. Slams the cap of his bat on the ground in frustration, and the side is retired. Still 1-0 San Francisco, heading to the top of the 3rd inning. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. We went to the third inning. The San Francisco Seagulls still up 1-0 over the Blues after San Luis Obispo goes 1-2-3 in the second as a response to the one run that San Francisco got in the top of last inning. John Damazonio heads back out there. He'll face 3-4-5 for SF as checking his swing on the first pitch is Ethan Roan. And he holds up for ball one. Roan, last time he was up, he struck out looking in the first inning to Damazonio. And last night he was 2 for 3, a walk, sac fly, a run scored, and a strikeout. Another fastball missing upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. This is the Blues' 20th game of the season, their 11th conference game, the Seagulls' 12th conference game this year. As San Luis Obispo dropped to second place after the Menlo Park Legends took the W over the Walnut Creek Crawdads yesterday. Crawdads and Blues tied for second place. They're both half a game out from Menlo Park. San Francisco still 2 games behind that first place spot. They sit at 5th in the standings in the CCL North. There's 4 straight balls from John Damazonio and a leadoff walk to Ethan Rose to get things going in the third. Now it's Josh Hansen. He also struck out looking in the first. Last night he was 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, and came around to score. Hansen entering his freshman season at USC. That is, if he doesn't get picked up by an MLB team in this upcoming draft. Batted .433 his junior season at IMG Academy, and he swings and nubs this one back into the screen. No balls and 1 strike. In 76 at-bats last year at IMG and a .382 average, 3 triples, 9 doubles, no home runs. 29 hits this summer, or that last spring with IMG. As Damazonio misses upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Batting .286 heading to this game. He's 10 of 35 with 4 extra base hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and a bomb. Brought across 9 runs, and there's a potential one here with a runner at first base as he holds up his swing on the fastball high, and they say he didn't go around. 2 balls and 1 strike to the future Trojan. That was a 1084 slugging sound for his senior, or OPS sound for his senior season at IMG down in Florida. San Francisco native takes another fastball high, 3 balls and 1 strike, and Damazonio just cannot seem to tunnel it today. He's the kind of guy with a lot of vertical break to his fastball, and if anything, you'd want to start that in the middle of the zone so it drops down and the hitters go after it, but he just keeps leaving it up. I'm surprised the Gulls aren't swinging at it. Hansen does here. He pops it up and out of play to the right of the Blues bullpen, fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the Seagulls once again fouling off pitches as they were doing so yesterday to the starting pitcher and Cody Albright. Staying alive in these ABs, getting it to 3-2 counts against Damazonio, making him throw a lot of pitches. Reach in his bag and go into secondary stuff. It can't just be the fastball at 95 up in the zone at you. Payoff pitch. There's another fastball. It misses to Josh Hansen. Back-to-back walks here for the St. Mary's Gale. No one out, and runners on first and second for San Francisco. Two free base runners for San Francisco, and now Andrew Tinsley steps up to the plate with no one out and 2 runners on. Last time he was up, he got the only base hit of the day for the Seagulls as we enter the third frame. Eventually came around to score on the throwing error from Sam Ardois, and he shows bunt here. Getz and Borba creep. He holds it up and throws it up and away to Estabrook. Tries to look over to first. No one's there. Jeffrey was a few feet away. 1 ball and no strike to Andrew Tinsley. Uncommitted left fielder from Murray State College, who had 23 doubles this past spring at Murray State and 174 at-bats. 7 home runs as well. Damazonio having some difficulties finding the zone. 2 balls and no strikes to Tinsley, with runners on first and second who have reached on walks. 5 walks on the day so far for Damazonio. That ties his whole season in his 4 appearances that he's had for the Blues so far. This one's bounced up the middle. Moving to his left is Ardois, and he can't get there. A base hit from Tinsley as coming around to score is Roan. The throw is offline, not in time. Now advancing to third is Hansen as the ball got away. An RBI single from Andrew Tinsley. It's now 2-0 San Francisco. A 2-for-2 day for the left fielder from Murray State College. And the Gulls have the lead here in the third inning. Second hit of the day for San Francisco, and it comes off the very same bat as the one in the second inning. Runners at the corners here for San Francisco, and it's Logan Stelling, who struck out swinging last time he was up. Hits this one hard on the left side. It's going to get through for a base hit. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Gulls. It's now 3-0 San Francisco. First pitch swinging on a fastball that was just tunneled down the middle of the plate. Stelling just pounded it into the ground, and it bounced through the 5-5 hole with ease. Ardois never had a chance at making that play. Still no one out here. Back-to-back walks and now back-to-back base hits for San Francisco, with now runners on first and second. For Matt Moreno, who reached on error in the second inning from Sam Ardois, was eventually stranded at second base, and his first pitch is in there for a strike. As Damazonio struggles, no one getting loose in the Blues bullpen. Dean Traynor with the old school mindset, just letting him work right through it. Still early in this game. Up on the grass is Borba and Getz, as showing bunt is Moreno, and he gets it down. Will it stay fair? It rolls on the third base line, and it stays fair. Unbelievable. That ball was just hugging the chalk down the third base line. Estabrook and Damazonio hovered over it to make sure it rolled foul, and it just stayed in fair territory the whole time. One of the most beautiful bunts I've ever seen, as the bases are now loaded. 3 hits in a row for San Francisco. So now it's Kai Holm, and he gets a swing and a miss from Damazonio for strike one. What has been a disaster inning for the right-hander from St. Mary's as he tries to work out of this jam. Bases loaded, no one out. Middle infield playing a double play depth. Corners in. This one's hit up the middle and gets through the glove of Ardois for a base hit. 1 run comes around to score. Being waved around is Stelling. He'll come in with ease. It's now a 5-0 ball game. 4 hits in a row for the Seagulls, and they are piling on the SLO Blues here in the third. Just a real nice swing. Keeping it simple was Kai Holm after a 1-for-3 night last night and 2 runs batted in. He collects his third of the series with that single off Damazonio. Runners at first and second again. It's Moreno at second base and Kai Holm at first. And it's Shane Stanley, the 9-hole hitter for the Gulls, as he shows bunt and pulls it back as it squirts away from Estabrook. Now taking off for third is Moreno. The throw down is not in time. Moreno saw the daylight as the ball squeaked away from Estabrook, and now there's runners at the corners. Open stance from Shane Stanley as he swings and flares this one over the Blues bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corner still in, infield, middle infield playing back. Runner on first and third. No one out here in the fourth inning. 4-run spot for the Seagulls. Chopped on the left side. Borba can't get there, and neither can Ardois. Ardois went to scoop it on the backhand, and it rolls up his arm. That's Sam's second error of the game. Another run comes in to score for San Francisco. And Dean Traynor heads back out there to talk to his right-hander. Ugly, ugly sight here in the third, as the Gulls have thrown up 6 on 5 hits and an error over the Blues. Dean Traynor just wants to stop the bleeding and hit reset as much as possible, as absolutely nothing has worked the Blues' way in this frame. Trainer looming out there with runners on first and second for San Francisco. This will be their third time through the order as Isaiah Landry, the leadoff man, will step up with no one out here in the third inning. Still no one getting hot in the Blues bullpen, nor the Seagulls bullpen. I talked about how Garrett Plata hasn't pitched more than 2 innings in a game this season. And it looks like he'll head back out there for number 3, but Damazonio's got to get through this jam first. Tinsley shows bunt and pops it up and fouls it right below the press box for strike 1. And Tinsley started his barrel in the middle of the zone. You got to go top to bottom, the inverse of when you're trying to field a ground ball. That's what you're taught when you're bunting. And he kind of just had soft arms in the middle of the zone and lazily popped that one up and over the netting for strike 1. Shows bunt again, pulls back at this one, almost hit him. 1 ball and 1 strike. 4-hit inning, 5-run inning for San Francisco. It all started with back-to-back walks from Ethan Roan and Josh Hansen. Damazonio comes home and Tinsley shows bunt again. It's taken for a strike. It's actually Isaiah Landry showing bunt and pulling it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Alabama State Hornet. Damazonio comes set, takes a look at second base, now kicks and fires. Fastball missing way outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back-to-back games where slow Blues starting pitching has just simply not looked like themselves. Damazonio was so good against the Foresters down there in Santa Barbara. They're playing a team with less star power, less talent offensively, as Landry hits this one in the left field. No problem for Max Lane as he grabs it for the first out of the inning. Nice for Damazonio to finally get one on the board here in the third. .93 off the bat of Isaiah Landry, and Max Lane just had to take a few steps to his right to squeeze it. So now the 2-batter, Jake Brewer, stepping up for the 3rd time today. He has walked and struck out looking so far this afternoon. Now he digs in here with runners on first and second against John Damazonio, who's just trying to get out of this blow-up inning. Sends fastball right past him for strike 1. Brewer with 3 RBIs heading to this game. Wants to pick up a few more here and continue the rally. Choking up on the bat on the 0-1 count and taking the fastball down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Brewer. Brewer had an unassisted putout last inning in what was quick work for Plata in the second. Blues have just had 2 uninspiring innings on offense and even more so on defense. 0-2 is taken for strike 3. Back-to-back outs for John Damazonio. A line out to left and a strikeout looking to Jake Brewer. That's the 2nd time he struck out looking today. 2 gone here in the 3rd inning. We'll flip it back to the leadoff man of the 3rd, Ethan Roan, who led it off with a walk and came around to score. Looks like there finally is some action in the Blues bullpen. It's Marco Cipolla, the University of Colorado Springs Mountain Lion, who has since entered the transfer portal after 2 seasons in Springs. Damazonio just keeps missing first pitch upstairs on that fastball. Has made no adjustments to tunnel it in there to the zone. As he misses outside there, 2 balls and no strikes. Roan, before walking in the 3rd earlier in this inning, struck out looking in the 1st. One of Damazonio's 6 strikeout victims. Here's the 2-0. Fastball in there for strike 1. Roan, the 2-way player committed to East Central University from Choctaw, Oklahoma. 55 hits last season, 12 doubles, 6 home runs, and 1 triple. Missing way upstairs at the eyes, 3 balls and 1 strike. These summertime vibe batting gloves, the ocean mint background with the hot pink tracing for Arone as he swings and misses for strike 2. Count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes pitch number 90 to John Damazonio in the 3rd inning of work. This one's fisted back into the netting. I mentioned it earlier, that pitch number 91 is coming up now in just 3 innings. That just goes to show the at-bats that San Francisco has been stringing together. Being very disciplined, taking a look at balls and swinging at strikes and fouling them off. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Damazonio gets out of the jam, but not before the Seagulls tack on 5 runs against San Luis Obispo. I believe his day is done as he gingerly walks into the dugout with a 6-0 deficit over San Francisco. We'll head over into the bottom of the 3rd inning to see if the Blues have a response. I'm Nate Mills on the bottom of the 3rd as the Blues are still trying to get through the first time through the lineup. The Seagulls have already gone through 3 times as a blow-up inning from Damazonio back in the 3rd as he surrendered 5 runs off 4 hits and error by Ardois. That's his 2nd of the game, and he left 2 runners on. It's now a 6-0 ball game entering the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Brendan Comerford stepping up for the first time today after back-to-back nights of rest against the Sunrays and the first time against the Seagulls last night. Designated hitter batting 7th as the 1-1 misses low and away from Garrett Plata, who heads back out there for his 3rd inning of work. This will officially be the longest he's gone all summer. 2 innings against the Stompers on June 8th and 2 innings against the Legends on June 15th as he climbs the ladder and gets Comerford to swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Plata has yet to allow a run this summer in his 4 innings of work as he barely misses downstairs to Comerford. Fills up the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Ohlone Renegade, doing the DHing today for the Blues. Payoff pitch. Swung and flared up and out of play over the netting. Do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Comerford from Pleasanton, California, entering his sophomore season. Hits this one down the right field line, but into the Blues bullpen. Goes off the light fixture over in the bullpen. Never seen that one before. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch number 8 here to Comerford in this at-bat. And the breaking ball is taking just outside, and a leadoff walk for the Blues. Got away with that call there as Comerford strides over to first. A leadoff walk from Garrett Plata. That is Plata's 4th walk of the season. And it's awarded to Brendan Comerford as Jake Hicksonbaugh digs in now. Hicksonbaugh has been fighting for playing time, and it's been difficult with all these new faces coming in as he gets plunked in the head. Took it like a champ. It was destined to hit his back, but because he ducked down, he actually put his head in the way of that pitch. 2 free base runners for San Luis Obispo as they try to have an answer for the Seagulls here in the 3rd. So now it's Braden Jeffries, the second baseman, batting left-handed. He came in against San Francisco last night, a pinch hit walk in the bottom of the 9th inning. Came in to pinch hit for Sam Ardois, who was playing shortstop last night. Now he digs in here as one of the more efficient hitters in this Blues roster. Reached the 10-hit mark a few games ago, as that one almost hits him. Breaking ball goes over the head, and Stanley has to pop out of his crouch to retrieve it and prevent it from going to the backstop, giving 2 free 90s to Hicksonbaugh and Comerford. So a walk and a hit by pitch from Plata. As Jeffries digs in now with his bleach blonde hair. 1-0. Fastball elevated, swung on and missed for strike 1. Jeffries committed to the University of Michigan after graduating from Hart High School and a Valencia, California native. He was ranked the 128th prospect in California on May 14th by Prep Baseball. Southpaw comes home on the 1-1, and Jeffries has to dodge that fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. He led his high school team in stolen bases, extra base hits, runs batted in his junior season at Hart High School. He walked a team high of 17 times. 2-1 to him. Another fastball missing upstairs to Jeffries. 3 balls and 1 strike. After cruising through the first 2 innings, Garrett Plata having difficulties finding the strike zone. Perhaps excessive rest after a blow-up half in the 3rd. 3-1, taking all the way. There's ball 4. 3 free base runners in a row for San Luis Obispo. And we'll change it over to the top of the order in Jariah Lewis. He popped out to left field last time he was up. Jariah, it's taken him some time to get going here in this young season, batting at 200 even with 2 triples off 7 hits. 5 strikeouts to his 3 walks and 35 at-bats heading into this game. A .333 on-base percentage and his 3 stolen bases. Played for the Blues last summer, and he returns this year after spending his 3rd season at San Jose State. He was originally committed to play at USC. Didn't play with the team in 2021, so he decided to transfer over to the Spartans, where he is now a redshirt junior at San Jose State. The Alameda, California native awaits the offering. First pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Bases loaded for San Luis Obispo as the left-handed hitting outfielder digs in with no one gone in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Lewis spoils this one up and into the parking lot. Up quickly, no balls and 2 strikes is Garrett Plata. Lewis played 4 varsity seasons at Encinal High School. He was all-league in each of his final 2 seasons and a career .371 batting average and was Athlete of the Year at his high school in 2020. Hits this one hard into right center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Jariah Lewis with an RBI single brings in 2 runs for San Luis Obispo. They respond after a 5-run inning. It's now 6-2 Seagulls. That's Lewis's 8th hit of the summer and his 4th RBI, and he comes through to cut this lead to 4 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And just a real nice swing from Lewis. Kept it simple, threw a barrel on it, hit it decently hard in the right center gap over the jumping attempt from Roan, and it's just enough to bring in 2 runs for the Blues. So now it's runners at the corners, Braden Jeffries at third and Jariah Lewis at first. Ardois trying to shake off the 2 errors he's made at short as he looks at first pitch for a strike. Ardois was caught stealing in the first inning as well. A half slide at second base after walking as Lewis takes off for second, and that gets through for a base hit. Sam Ardois with a single brings around Braden Jeffries as Jariah Lewis holds up at third. It's 6-3 Seagulls. Ardois comes through and he cuts the lead in half with his 7th hit of the season, his 4th RBI. Trying to stop the bleeding. His pitching coach, Dom Sebastiani, out to talk to his southpaw, Garrett Plata. Back-to-back hits for San Luis Obispo. After a walk, a hit by pitch, and another walk to Braden Jeffries. SLO trying to give San Francisco a taste of their own medicine, capitalizing on the free ones. This ball game has come to a screeching halt after the Blues went 1-2-3 in back-to-back innings. They've strung together a couple hits and a couple walks, a hit by pitch, and cut the lead in half. Both hits for the Blues have come in this inning. Jariah Lewis broke the seal with his RBI single, and Ardois went right back at it with the same exact thing as Dylan Getz digs in now with no one out and runners on first and third, excuse me. Getz was 2 for 4 last night with a strikeout in his Blues debut, and he swings at the first pitch and bounces it on the right side. Roan's got it, throw over to first in time to first, and he cannot get Getz as Brewer jumped off the bag, but a run does come in Jariah Lewis. It's now 6-4 Seagulls. Exactly what the doctor ordered for San Luis Obispo, stringing across a couple hits, then getting the fielder's choice from Dylan Getz. Getz is now at first base. That was the first out of the inning, the force out at second to get Ardois as Casey Borba steps in after chopping a ground ball to second base last time he was up. Borba looks at the first pitch for strike 1. This season, the UT Austin Longhorn is 3 of 10. 1 run batted in, 1 double in his early Blues career. 0-1, taking all the way, 1 ball and 1 strike. Borba playing an awfully clean third base. Continues to impress me, taking his repetitions at the hot corner in the pregame warm-ups. Making some acrobatic grabs and making some slow rollers look easy. 1-1, missing downstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike to Borba. Casey got the night off last night. He returns to the lineup here against the Seagulls in Game 2. He was voted the best third baseman as this one's hit hard in the left center gap. Ranging to his right is Landry, and he can't get there. Extra bases for Casey Borba as being waved around as Dylan Getz. The relay in will not be completed, and there's an RBI double from Casey Borba. 3 hits this 1 inning, and the Blues are within 1 to the Seagulls. 95 off the bat of Casey Borba, the Texas Longhorns, and San Luis Obispo creeping up on San Francisco. So Garrett Plata's day will be done. There's a new pitcher for San Francisco after 3 hits, 2 walks, and 5 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stay with us. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. New right-hander in for the San Francisco Seagulls as Garrett Plata's day comes to a close. 2 1/3 innings of work, 3 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Mind you, those 5 runs and 3 hits all came in this inning against the Blues, as it's now Owen Gallegos in for relief against Plata. Gallegos is a Cal State East Bay pioneer and a Newark, California native, as Max Lane swings and lines this one out of play down the left field line for strike 1. Before Cal State East Bay, he played at City College of San Francisco. He was first-team all-conference starting pitcher and the 2023 strikeout leader for the conference. He was also Dean's Honor Roll every semester in 2023 academic All-State. Here's the 0-1 to Max Lane. It hits this hard down the left field line. Moving back is Tinsley. He grabs it with no problem. And retreating back to second base is Casey Borba. Now 2 gone in this inning. 94-mile-an-hour flyout from Max Lane after fouling at 100 miles an hour out of play. I've told you the kid can hit the ball hard, and those 2 swings were no exception, as it's now Owen Estabrook up with 2 gone and a runner on second base. Estabrook, last time he was up, he struck out looking to end the second inning. The catcher from Columbia. First pitch missing upstairs to the Santa Barbara native. 1 ball, no strikes. More on the new pitcher from Cal State East Bay, Owen Gallegos. He had a 9.64 ERA in 2 starts, 18 2/3 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts to 13 walks. Good opportunity here for the Blues to capitalize and take the lead in this game. Estabrook takes a pitch high again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you missed it, Gallegos just came in to relieve Garrett Plata, went 2 1/3. Just allowed a Max Lane fly out for the second out of the inning. Now he's up to face Estabrook. 2-0 is hit on the ground on the left side. Holmes got it. Long throw over to first will be high, and diving is Estabrook. He rolls back up on the bag, and coming around to score from second base is Casey Borba. Rushing the throw at shortstop was Kai Holm, and this game is now tied. First error of the afternoon for San Francisco. There's now 3 in this game, and we're not even done with the third inning. Some ugly baseball from both sides in a 6-6 affair at Sinsheimer. So now we'll flip it back over to Comerford, who led off this inning with a walk. And he gets a sword on the fastball upstairs. No balls and 1 strike. Comerford, the DH from Ohlone, had an electric season with the Renegades in his 2024 campaign. Another fastball at his eyes. 1 ball and 1 strike as Comerford holds up his swing. 155 at-bats. As many doubles as home runs. And you're thinking, okay, like 4. No, 12 doubles, 12 home runs, 1 triple, a .658 slugging. Hit off the hands down the third base line. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the slugger from Pleasanton, California, entering his sophomore season. Was committed to play at St. Mary's from Foothill High School. Got Tommy John surgery, arrived on campus in Fremont. Ended up entering the transfer portal after Greg Moore departed from the Gales as he dodges that fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Short lead from Estabrook at first. 2-2 count with 2 gone, and he gets hit by a pitch. Second hit by pitch this inning. The first one came from Plata, and now Gallegos gets his first. Oh, a 2-out base runner here for San Luis Obispo after Brendan Comerford gets plunked by the fastball. And what was a disastrous inning for John Damazonio now happens here to the Seagulls in the third. 6-6 ball game in the third inning, and most of the runs have come in this game, excluding 1 that San Francisco got in the second. Hixenbaugh's first pitch swinging on the fastball and sends it straight back to the net. No balls and 1 strike. Last time Jake was up, he got hit by a pitch and eventually came around to score in the same inning that we are currently in. Here's the 0-1. There's a fastball missing upstairs from Gallegos. 1 ball and 1 strike. A graduate of Atascadero High School, Hixenbaugh just spent his first year of junior college at Monterey Peninsula. Bit of a disappointing year for him, and a 154 batting average and 39 at-bats. He looks to return to Monterey this upcoming spring, though. As there's another ball there from Gallegos. 2 balls and 1 strike. Played with the Blues last year as well. In 28 at-bats, he had 5 hits. Played in 12 games. And 6 walks to 11 strikeouts and stole 1 bag. He leads the team this season. Here's the 2-1 from Hixenbaugh. Fastball clipping the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice pitch on the black from Owen Gallegos as he tries to work his way out of this nightmare inning for San Francisco. Creeping up behind Estabrook is Holm, trying to get him to go back. 2 looks over from Gallegos. Now he comes home and misses upstairs. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hixenbaugh. Last season to finish out the year with the Blues, he was a consistent 4-hole hitter for Dean Trainer's roster. 3-2 is sent in the air on the right side off the hands. Stelling moving to his left, and he ranges to grab it for the 3rd out of the inning. The Blues have a response for the San Francisco Seagulls. They tie the game at 6 apiece. Heading into the top of the 4th inning, we welcome Ryan Giacomini into the broadcast booth. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. 1 hour and 20 minutes into this ball game, and we're just now getting out of the third inning into the middle third of this game. It has been a wild ride through these first 3 frames. A 1 spot in the second, nothing crazy there. Then 5 in the third, a disaster work from John Damazonio, as right on cue, Marco Cipolla comes in for relief, the former UCCS Mountain Lion, now in the transfer portal. Ryan, I mean, how do we wrap around our head on what just happened?
I don't think you can, honestly. In this last inning, the Seagulls had 10 batters hit, and the Blues had 11. So 21 total batters in the third inning alone is just crazy.
Cipolla gets a broken bat pop-up as Borba ranges to his right in foul ground. He battles the sun and grabs it. 1 pitch, 1 out for the new pitcher in Marco Cipolla, coming in to relieve John Damazonio. Some more on Cipolla. I got some fastball metrics on him for you. 90 to 92 on the fastball. He'll top out at 94. 18 to 20 inches of vertical break. A lot of drop on that fastball as well, so he's going to want to be starting that in the middle of the zone. He also has a splitter, 81 to 82. Curveball, 75, 77. Slider, around the same thing, just a little higher in velocity. So excited to see those pitches working effectively. This one's a high bouncer that sneaks out of the infield for a base hit. There's a knock from Andrew Tinsley, and he's a perfect 3 for 3 on the day.
He's been swinging the bat really well, and these Seagulls hitters are just attacking Cipolla early in the count. We've seen now both Hansen and Tinsley swing at the first pitch. Works out for Tinsley there as he just chopped a soft ground ball over Borba's head and got on base.
Yeah, with the thick grass here at Sinsheimer, it's not common you see the ball actually bounce that high enough to get over the head of the third baseman and the shortstop. Ardois had really nice effort running out there into shallow left field to try to retrieve the ball, but it didn't matter as Tinsley was going to reach there safely with his good speed. On the first pitch fastball to Logan Stelling for his third at-bat of the day. Cipolla blows it right by him for strike 1. Stelling, the right fielder for San Francisco, is 1 for 2 on the day, a base hit in the third, part of that fateful third inning as he gets hit by that fastball. Another hit by pitch here in this ball game. That's the third of this game for either side. As Logan Stelling is awarded first base, Andrew Tinsley moves up to second. Another runner in scoring position for the Seagulls. They've had runners in scoring position in the last 3 innings.
It's not a way to win right there. You cannot allow teams to have opportunities to score every inning. You need to at least limit it. I mean, your offense has put up 6 runs, but you can't give up 6 runs and expect to possibly try to win a ball game.
Cipolla gets first pitch swinging, gets Matt Moreno first pitch swinging for strike 1. Moreno is 1 for 2 on the day, reached on error from Ardois in the second inning. And then a base hit, part of the back-to-back knocks for the Seagulls in the third. Eventually came around to score in that 5 spot. 0-1 slider missing upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt Moreno, who was 1 for 3 last game. A strikeout, 2 runs batted in, 2 walks, and a double.
Moreno was the one who had that beautiful bunt down the third baseline that trickled about a third of the way down and just barely stayed fair. One of the best bunts I've ever seen.
1-1 is sent on the right side and through for a base hit. Getting the windmill is Andrew Tinsley, and he comes around, and the throw is way up the line. Coming in to score is Tinsley, tapping home base. And advancing on the throw that went over the head of the catcher, Estabrook, is Matt Moreno with an RBI single. Seagulls now take the lead after giving up a 6 spot in the bottom of the third from the swing through the 4-hole from Matt Moreno. And what's refreshing to see with Mark Cipolla is that he is pounding the strike zone. Unfortunately for him, the Seagulls are ready for every pitch.
Yeah, their bats have looked really good today, and even yesterday for that matter.
Another first pitch swinging, this time from Kai Holm, the 8th batter, playing shortstop for San Francisco. He had an RBI single in the third, and he walked in the second. He was stranded at first base there. 0-1 from Cipolla. Fastball in there for a strike. Up, no balls and 2 strikes to Kai Holm.
That error from Hicksonball may not seem like all that big of a deal, but now it takes the double play away. You're looking for a strikeout or a pop-out here to keep that runner at third.
That's the Blues' 3rd error of this ball game, 2nd throwing error, as this one skied down the right field line, but it's going to not be playable as it lands into the Blues bullpen. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes.
Up 0-2, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sipola kind of nibble around the zone, look to try to get that swinging strikeout. You need a strikeout here with that runner on third.
1 gone, runners at second and third. And this one's fouled straight back to the net. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes.
Good setup pitch, went high in the zone with the fastball. Wouldn't be surprised to see him drop a splitter, maybe down and in, or he could even go to the fastball a little bit lower, but in the zone.
That splitter in the low to mid 80s with 18 to 20 inches of vertical break. Could be interesting to see a nasty swing from Kai Holm if Sipola can start this in the middle of the zone. He goes slider here, and Holm holds up. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the shortstop.
Really good pitch, though. Just started it on the outer part of the plate. Got Holm to trigger at it. Holm did a good job to take that gross slider.
Black and yellow batting gloves choking up on the bomb bat as he twitches in the right-handed batter's box. Here comes Sipola, and this one's hit on the left side. Ardois got it on the hop, takes a few shuffles, throw to first is in time, but another run comes in to score for the Seagulls. It's now 8-6 San Francisco.
Good at-bat from Holm. Tough play for Ardois to try to get anyone out other than the runner going to first.
Yeah, he had the read over there looking at that runner and Stelling take off immediately. When you're a runner at third base and you see the downward angle, you're taught to just take off right as you see the ball, take that angle into the grass. That's exactly what he did, and Ardois knew he didn't have enough time to get him, so he just threw over to first to collect the second out of the inning. 0-1 is sent into right field and falls for a base hit. RBI single for Shane Stanley. It's now 9-6 San Francisco.
The bats are just on fire today on both sides of the ball. Seagulls have now put up 9 runs, in the last 3 innings, in the last 3 innings.
Offensive explosion for both sides, as that was the 8th knock of the day for San Francisco, and Shane Stanley's first this afternoon. Now back at the top of the order for the 4th time is Isaiah Landry, as he matrixes out of the way of that fastball for ball 1. Landry is 0 for 2 on the day, a line out to left, pop out to right, and he walked in the 2nd inning. Runner on first and Shane Stanley brought around Matt Moreno to score. As the 1-0 is popped up and out of the stadium, Owen Esterbrook throws off his helmet and holds his left hand, and he keels over. Dean Traynor heads out to check on him, as Esterbrook is visibly shaken up after that foul ball.
Not good. Not a good sight at all. Esterbrook's been one of 3 catchers for this Blues team that have just been shining this summer.
Esterbrook does a couple shakes, the trainer idling out on the grass, and he retreats with Dean Traynor back into the dugout. A 1-1 count to Isaiah Landry with a runner on first. In a 3-run inning for San Francisco, they have taken back the lead in a 9-6 ball game in Game 2 against the Blues. Sipola from the stretch. 2 nods, now comes home. And Landry looks at that fastball upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's been a very different Blues pitching staff these last couple of games, just not being able to find the strike zone and giving up a lot of runs. They came into this weekend series with the best ERA in the CCL North.
Flared up and out of the stadium, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Isaiah Landry. And that has been the keystone to their success so far this season. You don't realize how important it is until it starts to fail. And that was a problem last season with San Luis Obispo, was that pitching. It's what kept them out of most ball games, and it's what's keeping them out of this one against San Francisco in Game 2. Two from Sipola, misses outside. Fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And usually if the pitching has an off night for San Luis Obispo, number one, it's not this bad. It's not 9 runs bad. And the offense comes in a lot more. It did come through in the 6th, but stay tuned to see if they can supply more support. This one's rocketed out to left field. Lane moving back on it, and he makes the grab on the run at the warning track for the 3rd out of the inning. The Seagulls have an answer. It's 9-6 San Francisco, heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. Now a 9-6 ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll see if the Blues have an answer for the Seagulls as they retort with 3 runs in the 4th off Marco Cipolla. 3 hits in that inning. A hit by pitch and an error from Jake Hicksonbaugh out in right field. A throwing error that was way up the line from Owen Estabrook, the catcher.
There's nothing Estabrook could have done to try to keep that ball in front of him from getting to the screen.
So it's Braden Jeffries now in a 2-0 count to Owen Gallegos, who came in to replace Plata back in the 3rd inning, where the Blues threw up 6 runs and tied the game against San Francisco. 2-0, missing outside, 3 straight balls to Braden Jeffries, the 9-hole hitter for the Blues.
Jeffries has been incredible all summer for the Blues. Not that many plate appearances, but he's batting .476 coming into this game with a .710 slugging.
4 straight balls to the future Michigan Wolverine and a leadoff base runner for the Blues. In business right away as we flip it back up to Jariah Lewis, the leadoff batter for Dean Traynor. That's 2 walks this afternoon for Braden Jeffries. He came around to score the first time he was awarded first base. We'll see what happens here with Jariah Lewis, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Already has an RBI single in the 3rd. Came around to score on that hit as well. Jeffries with an average size lead at first base as Lewis shows bunt and pulls it back as the throw is at his eyes. And the catcher Stanley shuffles but holds the baseball. 1 ball and no strikes. Sitting on deck, it's Sam Ardois in the hole. It's Dylan Getz. As Jariah Lewis looks at that pitch downstairs, 6 straight balls from Owen Gallegos. And pitching has been a struggle for both sides today. A high-scoring matchup. We're just in the bottom of the 4th inning and about an hour and 40 minutes since first pitch. something that the Blues haven't seen a lot this summer has been the pitching struggling. In fact, they've ranked pretty high in the CCL in that whole staff.
Yeah, they are actually coming into this game first in the CCL in ERA and first in run average, which is the amount of runs they give up per innings they've played, at 2.81, that's pretty remarkable. So very unorthodox from their pitching staff the last couple of days.
They've given up 9 here to the Seagulls within 4 innings, as there is 7 straight balls from Owen Gallegos, 3-0 to Jariah Lewis. There's a strike to Jariah. He took a step towards first, but he'll have to go back to the batter's box. 3 balls and 1 strike.
And what's probably helping that ERA be so low is that the Blues are second in the league in walks given up per 9 innings. But again, we've seen so many walks the last couple of days.
Back-to-back walks here to get things going in the 4th. This time it's Jariah Lewis. Now bases filled with Braden Jeffries and Lewis, 2 guys with some above-average speed. As the manager, Dom Sebastiani, heads out to talk to his pitcher, waves away the infield, as he just wants to keep this conversation between him and the battery. Jariah Lewis's second time reaching base safely today. Comes to back-to-back walks from Owen Gallegos. So it's Sam Ardois now, waiting to dig in as he talks with third base coach Rene Regalado down the third base line. Ardois is 1 of 1 on the day, an RBI single in the 3rd inning. He walked back in the 1st and was caught stealing off the half slide into the bag. And he's had a frustrating day so far with that caught stealing, the throwing error, and the fielding error for the future Raging Cajun. Wants to make it all disappear here with the second hit of the day. Left-hander getting going in the San Francisco bullpen. As Gallegos has some pressure, Ardois shows bunt and pulls back. Brewer was crashing, but he leaves it for ball 1. Ardois, the Moss Bluff, Louisiana native, will now attend college just an hour away from home after spending his freshman season in Austin with the Longhorns. Another ball downstairs to Sam Ardois, 2 balls and no strike. And as a hitter, I feel like this is a very underrated count. People like to talk about hitting in 3-1, but me personally, I always liked swinging it in the 2-0. We'll see what he does here. And he holds up 3 balls and no strikes.
I think there he was looking for a pitch, probably fastball in because he did trigger on that pitch in, but he recognized changeup out of the hand of Gallegos and laid off of it. A good take.
Runners on first and second. Jariah Lewis with his hands on his knees at first, and Ardois takes a look at the first strike of this at-bat, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Like you mentioned, Ardois just trying to erase those errors and the caught stealing from his mind right here. Already has an RBI single on the day. Would love another one.
3-1, and that hits him in the back of the knee. He grimaces and he holds the bat by the barrel, chucks it towards the dugout. Now the bases are loaded after 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Dom Sebastiani struts back out to the mound and he points to his bullpen immediately. Owen Gallegos' day is done after 3 free base runners for the Blues. We'll go to break as a new noodle warms up for San Francisco. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. New pitcher in for San Francisco, another southpaw in Jackson Moore, the left-handed senior from San Bruno, California, and Northwestern College. He comes in with the bases loaded after Gallegos walked a man, walked another, and then hit Sam Ardois to fill it up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Good opportunity here for Dylan Getz, who struck out looking and reached on fielder's choice in the third as he half swings on that pitch. They say he went around, 1 ball and 1 strike now to the first baseman from Skyline Community College. Moore is majoring in kinesiology over at Northwestern College for the Eagles. Went to Cappuccino High School. And he almost hits Getz a fastball up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Left-hander comes set in an open position, and he's on the 2-1, and he hits Dylan Getz. Back-to-back hit by pitches after back-to-back walks bring in another run for San Luis Obispo. It's 9-7 Gulls.
Classic CCL baseball, just walks and hit by pitches, errors. Blues get it done, however, in this high-scoring affair.
When we talked about it a few broadcasts ago, Ryan, that one of the games again, or it was the San Diego Sunrays, I believe, you were saying it was reminiscent of opening day with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a better candidate.
Yeah, with all the hit batters. There was
Yeah.
that inning, I think it was the 6th, if I recall, against the Dodgers, where they had 3 straight hit batters in an inning where they hit 4 total batters.
2 this inning, 3 this game for the Blues offense as Casey Borba takes a look at the first pitch strike. Bases loaded now, trailing by 2 to San Francisco. Borba, last time he was up, an RBI double to bring around Dylan Getz. It was smoke, too. Breaking ball missing just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Texas Longhorn. Borba from Santa Ana, California, graduated from Orange Lutheran High School, where his father, Eric Borba, is the head coach. Eric also played baseball at Sonoma State up in Northern California. Borba also competed for USA Baseball. Most recently was invited to the U18 national team training camp in 2022. You can see him in batting practice and even right now in this game, rocking the Team USA batting gloves, the navy blue with the white base and the USA logo right on the wrist strap.
Yeah, those things are pretty out there on the hands of Borba.
Subtle flex while also looking swaggy. Here's a 3-1 with the bases loaded. And Casey looks at that fastball for strike 2. Might have gotten a call there is Jackson Moore, but he'll go back in there at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
According to the technology we have up here, that pitch was way off the plate.
Bases juiced for Borba, and he takes a look at ball 4. Blues hitters have not taken their bat off the shoulders this inning, and they've scored 2 runs.
Whatever gets it done, I guess. There's 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches, and net the Blues 2 runs.
Still no outs here. Walk, walk, hit by pitch, walk this inning for San Francisco. As don't look now, but their pitching is allowing the Blues to creep back into this game. Max Lane, the Harvard Crimson, skies this one into left center. Moving to his right is Landry. He'll squeeze it. Tagging it from third is Getz, and he will get in with no problem. Game tied at 9 apiece. Sacrifice fly from Max Lane, the first ball put in play this inning. 9-9 in the 4th.
Again, whatever gets it done. 3 runs on no hits, and you still got 2 runners on base with 1 out.
2-run inning for San Luis Obispo. They're back in this one. Blues have 9 runs on 3 hits. And the Gulls have 9 runs on 8 hits. Ball gets away from Stanley. Runners move up 1 station each.
That's big now as you have 2 runners in scoring position rather than just 1.
It's Dylan Getz at third base and Casey Borba over at second now for Owen Estabrook, the catcher from Columbia. Sacrifice fly from Max Lane brought across the second run this inning, and it tied the score at 9 apiece. Now the corners are in with runners at second and third with 1 gone, and Estabrook towers this one into shallow left field. Tinsley coming in on it. Moreno and Holm converging, and missing it is Tinsley in foul ground. Tinsley overran that pop fly from Owen Estabrook, and the Lion gets another life.
I think the Blues would have taken it if Tinsley would have got there. Probably would have resulted in a sac fly and another run in this inning.
Yeah, Tinsley was not in a good position to throw the ball over to home. Didn't look like Moore was there for a relay over to the catcher, Stanley. And Tinsley had to cover a bit of real estate to get there. Estabrook on the 1-1 takes outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Owen, a Santa Barbara native, entering his sophomore season out in New York. Looks at the off speed in there for a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Caught the outside part of the plate. That one's been called a strike all day by the home plate umpire.
Here's the 2-2 offering, and this one's poked on the right side. Bouncing ball to Brewer. He goes home, and now retreating back towards third is Getz. They throw over there, and they tag him. And Getz got himself into a rundown, but advancing to third is Casey Borba, as Brewer threw it over to home immediately after Getz jetted towards home. Two gone here in the 4th inning, and it's now Brendan Comerford who has walked and been hit by a pitch this afternoon. Borba now at third, Owen Estabrook at first, after Brewer got out Dylan Getz in a rundown. Comerford swings at the first pitch, pops it up, and into the bleachers for strike 1.
Exactly the guy you want up in this spot. Comerford with tons of pop. 7 doubles this summer.
The team leader in doubles, also has 11 runs batted in, the most of anyone in tonight's starting lineup. Also has a triple to accompany that double, as this one's hit in the air to left center field. Landry moving to his right and getting called off by Tinsley for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Blues respond as they tie the game at 9 apiece. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. Half inning is brought to you by Richardson. They're the official hat of the CCL. Both teams in this afternoon's contest will be wearing Richardson branded caps and will be doing so for the remainder of the season. Richardson, the official hat sponsor of the CCL. Marco Cipolla heads back out there to face 2-3-4 Jake Brewer, Ethan Rohn, and Josh Hansen after what is now a tied ball game in the top of the 5th inning. Climbing the ladder, upstairs, Jake Brewer swings and misses at that fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brewers so far today, 2 strikeouts looking and a walk back in the 1st inning. Cipolla from the windup comes home, gets a check swing, and he went around for strike 2. Brewer, tonight's first baseman for San Francisco, getting the start after sitting last night against the Blues. A San Bruno native who looks at the fastball upstairs, 2-2 to Brewer. Had a fun year last season with the Colts at Kenyatta College, a .377 average in 53 at-bats with 7 doubles and a homer. Skipping on top of the plate, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Marco Cipolla. Blues are just coming off an inning where they scored 3 runs on no hits and no errors. Love the free ones. Payoff pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Marco Cipolla gets the K to lead off the inning, and that's Jackson Brewer's 3rd this afternoon.
Good pitch there from Cipolla, went upstairs with the fastball to get a strike 3 swinging on Brewer.
So now it's Ethan Rohn. He's also 0 for 2 with 2 Ks and a walk. As Cipolla challenges him with that slider for strike 1, and he looks at it all the way. Quickly getting back on the rubber from the windup, burying his face in his tan glove, now coming from the belt. Holding up on his swing on another off-speed pitch, low and away from Cipolla. Now 1 ball and 1 strike to Ethan Rohn. Rohn sways his hands in front of his right pec as he stands tall in the right-handed batter's box. And he has a huge cut at that splitter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's one of the few times we've seen the splitter today. We talked about the vertical break that it has, 18 to 20 inches. That's a lot of movement. Spoils this one up and out of play, staying alive, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That is a filthy amount of movement. Makes it incredibly hard to hit it, especially with how much run the fastball has. They look very similar, but at the very last second, that splitter is just going to dive and slow down. The fastball is going to ride and continue its speed.
Skips this one outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Rohn. And the key to Marcus Cipolla this outing for him, and really any outing if you're a guy that throws a splitter, is starting it in the middle of the plate and it drops out of the strike zone. If you leave it up, you're going to drop it in the middle of the plate. If you start it down, it will fall below the zone for a strike. They appeal over to first on the check swing from Rohn, and he didn't go around. Another 3-2 count here from Marco Cipolla. That's where you see hitters doing all their damage when you have a pitch that breaks like that and you hang it up in the zone. As this one's nubbed at home plate, we'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Really, when you leave it at the top of the zone, it can just break down right into the barrel of the hitters. But I think Marco Cipolla has done a good job acting out the string drill that a lot of college pitchers practice. He climbs the ladder on the 4 seam for the 2nd strikeout of the inning. Back-to-back Ks for Cipolla. There's 2 gone in the 5th.
Take another look at that high heat from Marco Cipolla as he gets a swing from Ronan, his 2nd strikeout of the inning. Another bottle of hot sauce given out here at the ballpark.
3 Ks now for Brewer and Roan, respectively. Now it's Hansen who has 1 looking today. He also walked in the 3rd and popped out to 3rd base. Hansen was hit with his fluorescent pink bat. Takes a look at strike 1 down the middle from Cipolla. Tight hands over his right shoulder, and he looks at strike 2. Splitter from Cipolla, and that's the time he left it up in the zone, and that's a dangerous hitter to do that to. Surprising that the DH left it there.
Exactly that pitch you were just talking about, leaving that splitter up and it dropping right into the middle of the zone.
0-2 is popped out to center field. Lewis takes a few steps to his left and he taps his thigh and squeezes it for the third out of the inning. Marco Cipolla goes 1-2-3 in the fifth. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth inning, 9-9 for Ryan Giacomini. I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Bottom of the fifth inning as there is a new pitcher for the San Francisco Seagulls. It's Nick Balch, another Cal State East Bay Pioneer, who last season out there in East Bay had a 9 ERA in 4 appearances, 4 innings pitched. He had 4 strikeouts and 6 walks. Another right-hander that has some difficulty finding the zone for San Francisco. Let's see what the Blues can do here in their fifth inning in a tied ball game at 9 apiece. Marco Cipolla just went 3 up, 3 down in what was the first goose egg since the first inning for San Francisco. Jake Hixenbaugh almost gets hit with back-to-back pitches, 2 balls and no strikes.
A good opportunity for the Blues, who have been battling with the Seagulls all day long, to take their first lead of the day.
Hixenbaugh, who was hit by a pitch last time he was up, looks at the fastball in the other batter's box. 3 straight balls from Balch in his first appearance in this ball game. Hixenbaugh this season is 8 of 25, 4 runs batted in, leads the team with 12 stolen bases. 3-0, taken down the middle, 3 balls and 1 strike.
He's been a menace on the base pass when he gets on.
Would love to see that here for the Blues. As this one skied into left field, coming in on it is Tinsley, and he'll get it with no problem. There's the first out of the inning, a fly ball out to left field from Jake Hixenbaugh.
3-1 count, got the pitch he was looking for just a little late and got a little underneath of it. Just a routine fly out to Tinsley.
So here's Braden Jeffries, the 9-hole hitter committed to Michigan next season. Last game against the Seagulls last night, he came in to pinch hit for Ardois, eventually walked in the bottom of the 9th inning. One of the 3 left-handed batters standing in at the 9th spot takes a look at ball 1. He's walked twice today and came around to score twice as well. Has been one of the more impressive hitters the Blues have seen this season, reaching the 10-hit mark in just 5 starts. This one squibbed down the third base line. Nice play from Moreno, and at the throw on the run gets Braden Jeffries. Spectacular run and catch from Moreno, and there's 2 gone in this inning.
Yeah, really good play. Ranging to his hand side. I mean, look at that. Be on the backhand, the throw over to first. A great stretch by Brewer at first and pick to get Braden Jeffries.
Jeffries, who has some good speed too, was unable to beat out the effort from Moreno, who just made that look easy. That ball was hugging the line as well. Difficult to tell if it was going to be in fair territory, and that's why you kind of just play it out no matter what. Jariah Lewis swings and misses at the off speed for strike one. He's 1 for 2 on the day, an RBI single in the third, came around to score twice. He walked in the fourth and flew out to left field in the first. Lewis heading into this game had 7 hits in his 35 at-bats. Leaves that one high for ball one, 1 ball and 1 strike. He has 2 triples on the year as well. That leads the team. Also 3 stolen bases. 2 gone here after Hicksonbaugh and Jeffries were retired, as he sends this one right back to the pitcher Balch. Flips it over to first, no problem, for the 3rd out of the inning. The Blues go 3 up, 3 down for the 3rd time today. We'll head to the top of the 6th, tied at 9 apiece. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Five, six, seven due up for the San Francisco Seagulls in what is still a tied game. 5th inning was completely scoreless. Hadn't seen that since the first of this ball game. As it's 5-hitter Andrew Tinsley looking for his 4th hit of the afternoon.
Someone who's just been red hot with the bat today. Up there again.
3 singles, came around to score on all 3 times, and there's his 4th base hit of the day. Perfect afternoon for the left fielder batting 5th, and a leadoff single for Tinsley.
He's having himself quite the day now with his 4th hit, a RBI, 3 runs, and a stolen base as well. Yourself a day, kid.
No kidding, as Logan Stelling steps up now. He's only got 1 base hit, but he was also hit by a pitch in the 4th and struck out swinging in the 2nd. And base hit in the 3rd was an RBI knock. He came around to score twice himself. Huge swing and miss at that fastball from Cipolla is Logan Stelling. No balls and 1 strike. Stelling wagging his bat with 1 batting glove on his left hand, the right-handed hitter. Committed to Memphis. Pops this one up and out of play, no balls and 2 strikes. Stelling this past season at West Valley Community College was 2nd team all-conference. And he committed to Memphis earlier this month on June 6th. 0-2, squibbed back into the netting. Do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. One runner on, and Andrew Tinsley, who led off this inning with a single, right back up the middle for his 4th hit of the day. And now it's Stelling, the former Viking from West Valley College and 2-way player. This one sent into right field. Hicksonbaugh ranging back, backpedals, makes the grab as Tinsley retreats to first for the first out of the inning.
Good piece of hitting by Stelling, but right at the glove of Hicksonbaugh for the first out of this inning.
Matt Moreno, he's 2 for 3 on the day. 2 singles, came around to score on both of them. Reached on air in the 2nd from the Ardois throwing error to Getz at first base. Now he's up for his 4th time today with a runner on first and Andrew Tinsley.
Nate, I got to say, it's a great day at the ballpark.
It really is. It's a beautiful afternoon, sitting in the low 80s. Not a cloud in the sky. As taken off towards second is Tinsley. The throw is not in time. Another stolen bag from Tinsley. That's his 2nd this afternoon, his 4th of the season.
Good jump and good speed. To go back to my point, it's a beautiful sunny day, low 80s, and it's a good ball game. A lot of runs being scored here, which means a lot of alcohol going out when Blues score. You score discounts as well as Mimosa Sunday.
Sure.
You know what day I'm looking forward to, though?
Popped up and out of play, foul, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm looking forward to Jersey Day.
Oh, yeah.
On July 2nd, followed by Fireworks Night on July 3rd. 2 incredible days to be at the ballpark. And, Nate, what kind of discount do you get if you show up wearing a jersey on the 2nd?
Well, if you go to Sinsheimer on July 2nd, the day before the firework game on July 3rd, wearing your favorite jersey, as long as it doesn't represent the Santa Barbara Foresters, just kidding, you get a $5 ticket at the door. Hit sharply back up the middle, squibs off the mound. Moving to his right is Jeffries, and Getz can't pick it. Now rounding over to second base is Moreno as the run from second, and Andrew Tinsley scores. 4th error of the day for the Blues.
Sloppy baseball that needs to be fixed in order for the Blues to be successful.
It's just play catch, and it's the first thing that the Blues do when they get to the field. They do the stretching circle, and then you have catch play down the first base line, and that's where it has to start. It clearly hasn't been these past few games because these throwing errors have been problematic.
Yeah, they have been, and they're resulting in runs like we just saw there on the throwing error from Jeffries.
Hard hit on the left side. Ardois has to take a weird play on that hop. Long throw over to Getz. He stretches and grabs it for the 2nd out of the inning. Tough play for Ardois, who was going at it with the backhand, caught a weird piece of dirt or grass or something. He had to completely pivot his momentum and catch it on the forehand. Did a nice job of transitioning it and getting it over to Getz in time.
A very weird play indeed.
Ryan, what jersey are you wearing?
I don't know. Okay, so I'm a little bit of a jersey collector.
Okay.
So I'm between a few. I'm thinking it would be kind of funny if I wore all of them and took them off between innings.
The way the temperatures have been, I don't know about that.
Luckily, most of them are basketball jerseys.
Okay.
So tank tops. But
that could work then.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. Well, I'll keep it a secret, even if I do decide.
You're so secretive. You
I
didn't.
know.
You didn't reveal your luau
I know.
garb to me. Now the jersey, as this one skips in front of Estabrook, and holding up at third base is Moreno.
It's better if it comes as a surprise on the day of the game.
True.
So I might even throw you off and change jerseys pregame. You never know.
Can I know how many basketball jerseys you own?
Quick count. I think 9?
Whoa.
Maybe 8?
Wow.
I'd have to look in my closet to be 100% sure.
2-1 is sent into the Blues bullpen. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Former Petaluma High School standout Ryan Giacomini with the collection.
Standout is crazy. Only second team my senior year. Couldn't even make first team.
2 balls and 2 strikes as this one's hit on the right side. That's going to get through for a base hit. Coming in to score is Matt Moreno. As coming in with his second knock of the day, second RBI knock of the day, is Shane Stanley to increase the lead 11-9 over the Blues.
Crazy high-scoring game, and we're just over halfway through this ball game. Haven't even got to the latter third.
Softly hit squibber that squeaked past Jeffries and fell in front of Hicksonbaugh, but it was good enough to bring across Matt Moreno.
Ooh.
Leadoff batter Isaiah Landry checks his swing for strike 1. He's still looking for his first hit of the day.
Good pitch there from Cipolla, the slider, just diving away from the leadoff batter.
Pitches that drop. That's the theme for Marco Cipolla. That's the scouting report. He's got the splitter, he's got the slider, he's got the curveball. As this one's bounced on the left side and off the glove of Borba. Gets into the outfield as Landry reaches on. Waiting for the diagnosis, and I believe they're going to chalk it up as a base hit. So there is Landry's first of the day and the third one of this inning. We're in the 6th inning, and Landry has already had his 5th at bat.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
So Nav Sundar, who got the start yesterday for San Francisco, now coming in to pinch hit for Jake Brewer, who was 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, 2 of them looking, and a walk back in the first inning. Standing very far away from home plate as Estabrook checked the runner at first on strike 1 from Cipolla.
Nav Sundar has now played in every single game for the Seagulls this summer.
0-1, hit in the air and out of play over by the Blues bullpen. As we direct our attention over there, there's a new right-hander getting ready. It's Ericus Pajunas, the rising freshman committed to the University of Michigan.
Another rising freshman from UMich, his new teammate out there at second base.
Cipolla missing upstairs to the new batter and Sundar. And Jeffries and Pajunas will head to the Midwest in Ann Arbor come fall, but for now, they'll be teammates here on the Central Coast. 1-2 is dribbled right in front of the Seagulls dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Sundar looking to come off the bench and provide another hit and possibly another run for his Seagull team. Cipolla trying to sit him down and get out of this inning with just the 2 runs.
Back-to-back base hits for San Francisco, looking to make it 3 as they appeal to first on the check swing, and they say he didn't go around. On the fastball, up at his head. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sundar. Nav, a Cuesta Cougar. And he swings and misses for strike 3. The Seagulls leave runners on first and second, but they do get one off the RBI single from Shane Stanley, his second hit of the day. It's 11-9, heading to the bottom of the 6th. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the 6th, the San Francisco Seagulls have scored in all but 2 innings, and the Blues have only scored in 2 innings. Bit of an inverse of operations here as we enter the bottom of the 6th with Sam Ardois, Dylan Getz, and Casey Borba due up for San Luis Obispo. Ardois shows bunt, pulls it back for strike 1. A reminder that this half inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects. You can find them at sdgarchitects.com. Studio Design Group Architects. For 40 years, they've designed buildings with one thing in mind: people. 0-1 from Ardois, swung on and missed for strike 2. Scissor kicking on that breaking ball.
Reached base safely all 3 times, all in different ways. A walk, a base hit, hit by pitch. Looking to keep his streak of getting on base alive.
Swings and rolls this one down the third base line and foul, staying alive with 2 strikes. Ardois last night against San Francisco was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he entered this game 6 of 28, or his .214 batting average. 2 of its hits for extra bases. 3 runs batted in. Here's the 0-2. Holds up on his swing, as missing upstairs is Nick Balch for ball 1. Balch holds the baseball over his hip, and he comes set. Hands elevated from the waist. Another off-speed pitch, missing downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ardois.
Good take there by Ardois to work this count back to even at 2-2.
Signs of improvement from a hitter who's been struggling up there defensively as well. Ducks out of the way of that fastball. Count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Blues now trail by 2 after giving up that many in the 6th inning, an 11-9 ball game. Matt Moore scoring on an error, and Shane Stanley bringing in the run for the second of that inning as Sam Ardois gets plunked, and he'll head over to first base slowly for a leadoff base runner, and he keeps his streak alive.
He does, not in the way he would have liked, as he got hit right in a similar spot that he got hit last time, and he takes a few extra steps behind the bag.
So now it's Dylan Getz. He got hit by a pitch last time he was up in the 4th inning, was eventually stranded at 3rd. He also reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning, came around to score there, and he struck out looking in the 1st. He made his debut last night for San Luis Obispo. He went 2 for 4 with a strikeout when they hosted the Seagulls. Hasn't had quite the same production as he did last night as this afternoon, but he takes the first pitch fastball outside here, 1 ball and no strikes.
5 hit by pitches now from the Seagulls pitchers in this game.
Another fastball missing outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Balch comes set, comes home from the stretch, and there's 3 straight to Getz. With a runner on first, no one out here in the 6th inning. Blues trail 11-9 to the San Francisco Seagulls.
7 straight balls for the pitcher.
Slide step coming home. There's a fastball in the outer half for strike 1. I think something interesting here on Nick Balch's page here on the Cal State East Bay website. It lists his hobbies as Getz fouls this one straight back into the netting. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You know, he enjoys normal things like cruising around in his 4Runner, snowboarding, swimming. He likes cars, likes lifting. He also likes selling couches.
Just a really random hobby, but I guess if you're into it.
3-2 missing upstairs, and there's ball 4 to Dylan Getz. Back-to-back base runners for San Luis Obispo in the 6th inning, looking to cut into this 2-run deficit against the Seagulls. I don't know. I feel like that's so Bay Area, right? Is it not?
I mean, it kind of is. I'd say it's more just vague in general. Like, it could just be selling furniture, but so specifically couches.
I just think of, like, the hustle.
Yeah.
Of the bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of like the finance tech bro wanting to get a bag whenever he can. But you're right. Couches are a little specific. You think he flips them?
Maybe. He could buy them, refurbish them, then sell them online. Maybe buy, ones, or maybe he doesn't even buy them. Maybe he just finds the ones that are out on the side of the street with the free signs.
Now would be a good time to do that, especially here in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's having a field day as Cal Poly graduated last Sunday and Saturday. I've just been seeing just stray furniture all around the city that just has free signs. So maybe, in their time here in San Luis Obispo, he's getting to work.
Yeah, hopefully he brought a trailer or a U-Haul or something to get all those couches back down, or up, I should say, to San Francisco.
The grind doesn't stop. The kinesiology major from Cal State East Bay as he faces Casey Borba here with no one out and a runner on first and second. Borba is first pitch swinging, and he tips this one back into the netting. No balls and 1 strike.
I would also like to point out on that same page, it says his favorite baseball players are Barry Bonds, respectable, the home run leader, and then Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
You have a Giants and a Dodgers player as your 2 favorite guys.
I've just seen that too many times this summer as well. 0-1. Missing downstairs to Casey Borba. 1 ball and 1 strike. E.J. Royal is a Giants fan, and his favorite player is Mookie Betts.
Yeah, see, that just doesn't make sense to me unless maybe he was a fan when he was a Red Sox and then became less of a fan but still liked him after the move.
That's me, but I didn't stay with Mookie. 1-1. It's hit hard into left field. Tinsley coming in on it. He leaps and makes the grab. Retreating back to second is Sam Ardois after a nice grab from Tinsley out in left field.
100 miles an hour off the bat of Casey Borba. Just smoked that ball. And a good play by Tinsley to keep it from hitting the wall.
That had extra bases written all over it. If that was going to get down, it was going to clear them for sure and tie up this ball game. But instead, it's an out from Casey Borba off the nice grab from Tinsley. And now it's Max Lane, another guy who hits the ball awfully hard, digging in now with runners on first and second. Fastball upstairs from the couch seller, Nick Balch. 1 ball, no strike to Lane. Lane last night was 0 for 2, a walk and a hit by pitch against San Francisco. Today, a grounded to third, a fly out, and a sacrifice fly as this one shot through the 5-5 hole, a base hit. Rene Regalado waves around Sam Ardois, and he will come in to score. RBI single from Max Lane, his second ribby of the day.
Really good piece of hitting. Another 100-mile-an-hour ball off the bat of a Blues hitter. This one results in an RBI knock for Max Lane.
That's Lane's 4th RBI of the season and also his 4th hit of the year.
Be really good to see him get on track. Came into this game batting just 167, but like we've said previously, we know he has pop. We know he can hit the baseball. If he can get on a roll, this Blues lineup could get very dangerous very quick.
Now another Ivy Leaguer stepping up, Owen Estabrook, the Lion from Columbia University, pops this one up. Moving to his left is Brewer, and it will land on top of the Blues dugout. And it actually looks like Brewer was replaced after Nav Sundar pinched hit for him last inning. So that's actually Sundar over at first, the Cuesta Cougar. 0-1 to Owen Estabrook, who is 0 for 3 on the day. Strikeout looking, reached on error in the third, and reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth. Estabrook flares this one to the right field. Stelling coming in on it. He makes the running grab as scampering back to first base is Max Lane. There's 2 gone this inning. Tough play out there from Stelling off the right-handed back from Estabrook. When you see softly hit balls into right field like that from a right-hander, you just know it's going to be slicing towards the foul line, and especially one that was not hit deep into the grass. Stelling had to cover a ton of ground to get there, and he did so with the basket catch in front of his chest for the second out. So now 2 gone here for Brendan Comerford, who has been hit by a pitch, walked, scored a run, and flew out to left field. Another one of his signature towering fly balls on the pull side from the right-handed batter.
Another reason that fly ball is so hard to catch is because it's just a graveyard in that right field area. The ball's just going to sink in a hurry, as well as it's slicing away, makes it a really tough play.
Home playing deep at short. Creeping up at the bag is Roan. Trying to hold on Dylan Getz with Max Lane at first. This one's popped in the air. Stelling doesn't have to move too much. He grabs it for the third out of the inning. So the Blues scratch one across from the Max Lane 100-mile-an-hour RBI single. It's 11-10 San Francisco, heading into the top of the 7th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Three, 4, 5 for the San Francisco Seagulls. It's Ethan Roan, Josh Hansen, and Andrew Tinsley up to face Ericus Pajunas. Sipola's day is done. 3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. And I think that's what was best about Sipola in his outing today in his 3 innings of work, is that he was living in the strike zone. He wasn't afraid to go in there with the curveball, with the splitter, with the fastball. No walks. He did surrender those 7 hits. He also had those 3 Ks as well. This one skied in the left field. Lewis going back on it. Taps his thigh and makes the grab for the first out of the inning to get Nav Sundar. Ethan Roan.
That right there, a lot of what we saw from Pajunas his first time pitching in a Blues uniform, where he went 1 inning, gave up 3 runs.
So he heads back out here now, trailing by 1 to San Francisco. SLO Blues want to even up this series. They lost last night to the Gulls by a score of 7-4. Tapped on the left side, Ardois with the backhand, long throw, 1 hop to first. Nice dig from Getz for the second out of the inning.
A good play by Ardois to range to his right and field the ball, but another risky throw as that one bounced way in front of Getz, and a good pick by Getz.
2 up, 2 down here for Pajunas as Andrew Tinsley steps up. He is a perfect 4 for 4 on the day. 4 singles, came around to score every time he was on base. He has 2 stolen bags as well. First pitch, dodging out of the way for ball 1.
Pajunas looking to be the villain in Tinsley's 4 for 4 day.
1-0, moves his arm up for ball 2. Tinsley had the night off last night. Gets the start here, his 11th start of the season. As he rocks his hands in front of his chest, he takes a look at strike one from Pajunas. Pajunas from the windup, burying his face in his right glove, his left-handed glove, as this one skied out into center field. Lewis coming in on it, and he makes the grab from his left knee. 3 up, 3 down here for the Seagulls in the 7th inning. It is time to stretch. 11-10 San Francisco. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. New pitcher in for San Francisco, Vicente Melinda, as Nick Balch's day comes to a close. Jake Hixenbaugh leads things off here. The 8th batter for San Luis Obispo as the Blues trail by 1 to the San Francisco Seagulls, 11-12 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Braden Jeffries looms on deck, then it's Jariah Lewis in the hole. Jake Hixenbaugh on the day is 0 for 1, a fly out to left field and hit by pitch. He now stands in here for his 3rd plate appearance of the day. 2-0 to the new pitcher Vicente Molina, the Vulcan from Hawaii Hilo, future teammate of Braden Mondu. 3 balls and no strikes to Hixenbaugh. Vicente Molina before Hawaii Hilo was at Laverne, where he majored in broadcasting.
There you go.
Maybe we'll see him in the booth with us one day.
Tons of feel.
Tons. There's 4 straight balls to Hixenbaugh, and a leadoff walk here for the Blues.
Second free bag that Hixenbaugh has gotten today. One was he got hit. That one a 4-pitch walk.
The leader in stolen bases on first now for San Luis Obispo. That's the tying run over there, and Hixenbaugh wearing the number 5. He wore 1 last season. He stays in the single digits. Formerly known as the Kid, now the current Kid, Braden Jeffries, steps up now for his 4th time today. Talked about it last night. Jake Hixenbaugh officially bestowed the nickname The Kid onto Braden Jeffries, the youngster going to Michigan next season for his first year of college. As Melinda comes from the stretch, and he picks over to first. Close call over there, but Hixenbaugh's dive back safely.
A worthy title for Jeffries, who has been lighting up baseballs this summer. Hasn't had a hit today, but 2 walks.
Hixenbaugh takes off towards second base. Not a great jump, not a good throw either, but the tag is not in time. Field umpire deked me. It looked like he was going to punch him with the right hand, and he came through with the safe signal. Another stolen bag for Hixenbaugh.
Deked me, too. I thought it looked like he was going to pump, and then he whipped his 2 arms out and gave the safe sign.
That's Hixenbaugh's 13th stolen bag of the season. As now the manager, Dom Sebastiani, in his first season with the Gulls, talks it over with the field umpire. And he heads back to the dugout now. Braden Jeffries will step back in a 2-0 count. Molina rocking the ocean mint glove with the pink stitching. We've seen batting gloves of the same variety on the offense for San Francisco. Very Hawaii of him, I'd say. 2-0, taken down the middle of the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Braden Jeffries. Jeffries has 6 walks on the year to his 4 strikeouts. And those 10 hits, which he reached in his 5th start of the season with San Luis Obispo. 2-1, sent right back up in the middle. It sits down Melinda, and it's a base hit. Jake Hixenbaugh able to score easily from second base, and this ball game is tied. First hit of the day from Braden Jeffries and his 5th RBI of the season.
First hit is a timely one as it brings around a run for the Blues. Tied up at 11 apiece. High-scoring affair here at Sinsheimer.
Flip it over to the top of the lineup, and Jariah Lewis, who is 1 for 3 on the day, a base hit in the 3rd, was an RBI base hit. He came around to score then. Pop out to left field, and a comebacker to the pitcher in Moore. Picked to first, not in time to get Jeffries. Braden continues to be clutch here as he ties this game up with 1 swing, 11 runs on 5 hits, and 1 error. Off speed, taken for a strike to Jariah Lewis. 11-11 ball game here, as the throw to first is not in time. Jariah still in the batter's box, as far back as you can go, as the chalk has completely vanished from, I'd say, 3/4 of the box. Nubs this one in front of the dugout of San Francisco. No balls and 2 strikes to Lewis.
Lewis still trying to get his feet under him here, and San Luis Obispo came into this game batting .200. Has a hit today as well as a walk.
Coming set is Molina, now coming home. There's the first ball of this at bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lewis. On deck, it's Sam Ardois, who's 1 of 1 on the day. He's been hit by pitch twice and walked in the first. Had an RBI single in the 3rd. After him, it's Dylan Getz, looking for his first hit of the day and his 3rd in a Blues uniform. As Jariah Lewis gets sat down on strike 3. 2-seam fastball clipping the inside half of the zone to the left-handed hitter, and there's 1 gun here in the 7th inning.
From my point of view, it looked like that ball might have missed a little bit in off the plate, but in a 2-strike count, you got to protect there and not let the umpire take the bat out of your hands.
That's Lewis's 6th K of the season and his first of the day with a runner on first in a tied ball game. Go-ahead guy is Braden Jeffries at first base, and Ardois takes a look at ball 1. Former UT Austin Longhorn, now Raging Cajun from ULL. Taking off for second and fouling it down the third base line is Ardois. Frustration from the shortstop.
Just foul. He wanted that one bad.
And the way that Moreno has been playing third base, you have no idea what could have happened. Could have made another spectacular play to retire Ardois, but we'll never know as that ball stayed foul. And we'll do it at 1 ball and 1 strike here to Ardois. Takes the off speed outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Dangling his right arm, spinning it in a circle is Vicente. He comes set. Now delivers on the 2-1. Ardois takes the fastball inside. Hitters count now at 3 balls and 1 strike.
Reach base safely all 4 times. Add in the count, 3-1 here. Would love a walk or a base hit to move that runner into scoring position.
Melinda picks the first, and it's not in time to get Braden Jeffries. Eleven to 11 game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sam Ardois swings and chops this one right back into the netting. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sam has reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances. And Ryan and I talked about the streak last time he was up, and I'll mention it again here. We'll see if he can reach for his 5th time today in a full count. 1 out, runner on first base. Middle infield playing at double play depth as Jeffries takes off, and Ardois softly hits this one to foul ground and can't making the grab at first is Sundar.
A huge mistake by Sundar. If he makes that grab, it's easily a double play, as Jeffries was already at second base by the time it hit the glove of the first baseman.
Costly mistake for San Francisco. As you said, could have been an easy double play to end the inning, but instead it gives another life to Sam Ardois, as we'll do it again here in the full count. Payoff pitch from Melinda. This one's hit on the left side. On the forehand is Moreno. He goes to second for 1, on to first, and it gets past Sundar. Taking off for second base is Ardois on the errant throw from Roan at second base. 2 gone, but a runner at second in Sam Ardois. There's the second error of this game for the Seagulls.
The Blues will take it. Now they have a runner in scoring position for Dylan Getz.
Getz, as I said before, in search of his 3rd hit this summer for San Luis Obispo after making his debut last night. A strikeout looking, reach on fielder's choice in the 3rd, hit by pitch in the 4th, and walked back in the 6th inning where he was stranded at second base. Another runner in scoring position for San Luis Obispo. And Getz wants to take the lead here with 1 swing in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch offering misses outside from Melinda. 1 ball and no strikes. Now, as I said before, the Menlo Park Legends have sole possession of first place. SLO and Walnut Creek Crawdads are tied for second, both half a game out from the Legends. And San Francisco, 5th in the standings, 2 games back. 1-0 is in there for a strike. And a look at the South as well. Tied for first place, it's Arroyo Seco and Santa Barbara. OC Riptide coming back after struggling early on in the season. They're just half a game out of first. They're in 3rd place in the CCL South. Has dribbled down the right field line, but foul is Dylan Getz. He touches his head, as that one was awfully close to just being a quick tap on the bag from Sundar. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Getz. More in the CCL South, the Conejo Oaks, 1 game out of first place. They're in 4th. Academy Barons in 5th. The Sun Rays 6th, and the Ventura County Pirates last. Interesting note, the Pirates are last, but they're 3 games out. The Rays are 4 games out, but they're 6th. 1-2, just missing outside to Getz. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild with 2 gone and a runner at second base. Left-handed batter from Skyline Community College, the uncommitted first baseman, steps up to the dish. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moves out of the way from that fastball. Fills it up now at 3-2. Standing on deck, it's Casey Borba. He's hit the ball hard in 3 of his at-bats today. A double in the third inning in a hard line out to left in the sixth. Also grounded to second and walked in the fourth. Getz moves his hands from the waist up to his shoulder on the payoff pitch. Swings and misses, strike three. The Blues can't take the lead after a knock from Braden Jeffries and Sam Ardois reaching base at second from a throwing error. So it's still tied at 11 apiece. We'll go to the top of the eighth inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Eighth inning here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Game tied at 11. San Luis Obispo Blues hosting the San Francisco Seagulls for the second time this weekend. The last two times these teams will face each other this summer in 2024. As Logan Stelling leads things off, he swings and misses at the first pitch he sees from Ericus Pajunas, who's coming out there for his second inning of work.
Looked good in his first inning of work. Going to keep it that way here in a second.
From the windup, here he comes. Slider just missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stelling today, a strikeout swinging. RBI single in the third, was hit by pitch in the fourth, and flew out to right field in the sixth. Currently committed to the University of Memphis, did so earlier this month on June 6th. Rolls out of the way of that fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Stelling, a two-way player from West Valley Community College, had 75 hits and 212 at-bats, good for a .354 batting average last season with the Vikings, as Pajunas absolutely lost control of that breaking ball. That's the second time today we've seen a curveball just fly behind the back of a batter.
That one was so far behind the batter, too. It almost didn't make it inside the dirt circle where the batter's boxes are.
3-1 to Stelling, missing upstairs for ball 4 and a leadoff walk to San Francisco.
Not the way you want to start this inning after getting a 1-2-3 inning in the seventh. Your Pajunas, you just need to relax a little bit and throw strikes, make the bottom of this order hurt you, as Dean Traynor is going to come out and talk to Pajunas.
He delays as he exchanged some words with his fellow coaches in the dugout. Max Lober racing over to the bullpen to get another arm loose. Dean Traynor waits with his arms crossed as there's some catchers frantically getting ready to warm up another noodle. Dean Traynor now points to the bullpen, and a new arm will come into this game to replace Pajunas. So I didn't see anyone warming up in the bullpen. This guy's just going to show and go. Whoever it is, we'll let you know right after the break. Game tied at 11 on the SLO Blues streaming network. So all of a sudden, Ericus Pajunas' day is over as the new right-hander from the University of Washington, Jace Evangelista, digs in now. A 4.98 ERA last year with the Huskies in his true freshman season. 21 and 2/3 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, 13 walks, and 12 earned runs. A rising sophomore from Riverside, California, was ranked number 16th overall and number 41 among right-handed pitchers in California by perfect game. And he competed in the 2021 PG Junior National Showcase.
Looking to have another solid outing after giving up 1 run in 3 innings his last time out. While he's warming up, let's take a look at some scores around the league. The Walnut Creek Crawdads and the Menlo Park Legends, the 1 and 2 seed in the CCL North, played against each other at the College of San Mateo, and the Crawdads came out on top 11-5, which means the Crawdads, as of right now, have sole possession of first place in the league. The Alameda Merchants and the Sonoma Stompers played at Arnold Field, and the Merchants won 5-1. And later tonight, the Academy Barons and the Arroyo Seco Saints will play at 6:05, and the Santa Barbara Forcers and OC Riptide will play at 7 at Great Irvine Park.
Late. Little CCL South after dark as Matt Moreno steps up with a runner on first base. New pitcher in Jace Evangelista randomly coming in after Ericus Pajunas. Evangelista, I didn't see him throw a single warm-up pitch in the bullpen. I think we saw his first few tosses in a few hours on the field in between in the break.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see anything. I saw some plyometrics over there using the heavy medicine balls, and I don't even know what it's called, but like the stick that they use to warm up that waggles back and forth, doing some stretching and stuff, but no throwing.
The body blade. Huge cut at that fastball upstairs. No balls and 1 strike to Matt Moreno. The body blade works wonders, let me tell you. It looks a little goofy, but it's really hard. It gets that shoulder warmed up well.
I don't doubt it.
No balls, 1 strike to Matt Moreno. As skipping over at first is Stelling, and that one's popped up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Moreno, who struck out in last night's game against San Luis Obispo. And Moreno calls timeout. In the middle of the right-handed batter's box is Moreno. Looks at the fastball upstairs, snap back throw to first, not in time. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Moreno.
Figured at some point we were going to see Estabrook throw back. Tons of looks over there at the runner on first and Stelling.
A nod, and now a delivery home. Roller on the left side, Ardois flipped to second for 1, on to first, not in time from Jeffries. Matt Moreno beat out the double play. 1 out gone here in the 8th inning.
Slowly hit ball to Ardois. He decided not to charge it, and in result they got 1 out instead of the double play.
1 out, runner on first base for Kai Holm, who's 1 for 3, 2 groundouts to short, one of them for an RBI. Also had an RBI single in the 3rd. He walked back in the 2nd inning. First pitch taken low and away for ball 1 to Holm. Holm, a bald eagle from Coppin State, after serving time as a Bulldog at the College of San Mateo, native of Redwood City, California. 1-0 misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes from Jace Evangelista. Started in 45 games last season, his first year playing Division I baseball for the Bald Eagles. 51 hits, 9 doubles, a home run, 29 runs batted in. Pumping his hands over his right shoulder and leaving the 3rd straight ball from Evangelista is Kai Holm with 1 out here and a runner on first base.
Got to find the strike zone against the bottom of this count. Don't want to walk a runner into scoring position in a tie ball game.
Evangelista fastball in there for a strike. Pumped it down the heart of the plate to get one on the board. 3 balls and 1 strike. Holm last night was 1 for 3, 2 runs batted in, and a hit by pitch. He's matched his RBI total last night in today's game with his grounder to short and the single. Taking off for second base is Moreno, but this one's going to fall for a base hit off the bat of Holm. Cruising into third base is Matt Moreno. Runners now at the corner off the base hit from Kai Holm.
Now if you're Evangelista, you're looking for a ground ball double play to get you out of this inning with runners on the corners and 1 out.
Middle infield going to play deep in preparation for that ground ball as Shane Stanley, the catcher, batting ninth, steps up after back-to-back RBI singles in his at-bats. He struck out looking the first time he was up and then reached on error in the third inning. So a 2 for 3 day. As this one's hit softly on the right side through the 4-hole for a base hit. Seagulls have taken the lead as Stanley high steps into second base for his third hit of the day, third RBI as well.
3 straight hits, 3 straight RBIs. The bottom of the order is really getting it done for the Seagulls today. Matt Moreno, the 7-hitter, has 2 hits. Kai Holm has 2 hits, the 8-hitter, and now Stanley, the 9-hitter, has 3 hits and 3 RBIs.
12 hits between the 5 through 9 hitters in today's ball game. 12 of the 14 that this team has. And talk about production, only 2 strikeouts in that group as well. 8 strikeouts between the top 4 hitters for San Francisco. So really the guys towards the bottom have been doing it all for the Seagulls today. A 1 is swung on and missed to Isaiah Landry, who singled last time he was up in the 6th inning. He's down 0-2 to Jace Evangelista. Currently on a 1 for 4 day with a walk back in the 2nd inning. And he stands in with 2 strikes, 2 runners on, and 1 out. Holds up his swing on the changeup. He didn't go. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Landry. 2 vicious lineouts to left field. Max Lane had to corral those hot shots in the 3rd and 4th inning. He's here with his hot pink elbow guard. Holds up his swing again on the fastball offering outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Evangelista really wanting Landry to bite on those pitches. He hasn't done so in 2 attempts. Good AB here from the Alabama State Hornet. Here's the 2-2 offering. Hit into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Coming around from second base is Kai Holm, and he'll actually be held up at third. He's getting waved around by the manager, Dom Sebastiani. He voided his signal, and now there's runners on every base. Bases juiced for Nav Sundar, who came in to pinch hit for Jake Brewer in the 6th inning, and he struck out swinging to end the inning.
I think a good decision from the runner at third, Moreno, to stay as Max Lane threw a bullet that only didn't get to the plate because it was cut off by Borba.
Sundar takes a look at strike 1 off of 3 hits in a row from San Francisco. Ball 1 outside. Infield playing in. 1 out, bases loaded. Here in the top of the 8th inning, Seagulls have just taken the lead over San Luis Obispo. Outfield playing relatively deep. Hicksonbaugh unlike the rest. Slider swung on and missed. Strike 2.
And I'm a little confused as to why at least the middle infielders are in. A double play and you get out of the inning. If you get a ground ball, you should just go to second and then try to flip it to first instead of coming home with it.
Good point made there. As Sundar waits on the 1-2. Good block from Estabrook behind the dish. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Borba, we see play on the grass almost 90% of pitches in the game, so that doesn't surprise me. And Getz has been doing a lot of the same as well. If they get a soft ground ball, it wouldn't be surprising to see them come home with it, as that's an easier play.
2-2, misses outside. Backhanded stop from Estabrook. Good job corralling that one at the plate and keeping the runners at bay. Evangelista wants a new baseball. Count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nav Sundar.
For Evangelista, you just want to find the strike zone, at least make them get a hit to earn that run rather than walking it in.
Nav is .273 this season. Has 5 runs batted in, and here comes number 6. A RBI single up the middle as getting the windmill from second base is Shane Stanley, and he comes in to score as the ball gets away. Landry and Sundar can move up one more base, 14-11 San Francisco.
Good piece of hitting from Sundar. He gets 2 RBIs. Another error for the Blues lets the Seagulls runners move up an extra 90 feet.
4 hits in a row from San Francisco. Hard to hold teams at bay when you have that kind of production in an inning like this. Blues now trail the Seagulls by 3 runs here in the 8th inning. Backhanded stop again from Estabrook. 1 ball and no strikes to Ethan Rohn, looking for his first hit of the day. 3 strikeouts, a walk, and a fly out to center field. Runners in scoring position as Ethan Rohn takes a look at strike 1. Here's the 1-1. Popped up, out of play for strike 2. And it looks like this is actually James Bowes replacing Ethan Rohn, pinch hitting in the 8th inning. So this is Bowes' first at bat of the day, wearing 1 batting glove, that bottom left hand as a right-handed hitter. 1-2 is chopped on the left side. Borba's got it, chases the runner in Landry down the third base line. He's caught in a rundown. Estabrook tags him, and he actually misses it, and they go over to home. They got him. So it looks like Estabrook did get the tag. Snap back throw to second base, and Jeffrey slaps it down for the 3rd out of the inning. The San Francisco Seagulls take the lead, though, 14-11 in the bottom of the 8th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. New pitcher in Ryan Rocha for the San Francisco Seagulls. Vicente Melendez day is done, and Rocha, the right-hander from Kenyatta College, comes in for relief. The rising freshman from South San Francisco will face Casey Borba, Max Lane, and Owen Estabrook. The Blues trail by 3 runs in a 14-11 ball game at the bottom of the 8th inning. Casey Borba is 1 for 3 on the day, an RBI double in the 3rd, grounder to second base, and a hard line out to left field in the 6th. He also walked in the 4th and was stranded at third base. Made a nice play to end the top half of the 8th inning. Grounder on the backhand, moving towards home plate. Throw over to home to Estabrook. He got the runner at third, Isaiah Landry, in a rundown. Estabrook tagged him and threw over to second base to try to get Bose, James Bose, trying to take the bag. But he was unsuccessful as Jeffries put on the tag for the unconventional 5-2-4 double play. As Casey Borba is in there, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not seeing a lot of velo in the first 2 pitches from the new pitcher Rocha. 77-mile-an-hour fastball followed by a 63-mile-an-hour curveball.
Trying to be effective with the soft stuff as the Seagulls have another right-hander getting loose in the bullpen just in case. As Rocha comes from the windup, he misses downstairs again. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Texas infielder.
Borba looking to get on base and get something going here for the Blues, down 3 runs, bottom of the 8th inning.
And they desperately need it after that 3 spot in the top half of this frame. This one softly hit down the right field line out of play, and Sundar reaches for it and makes the grab against the fence. Casey Borba popped out in foul ground, and Sundar, after botching a softly hit foul ball in the inning prior, makes redemption here against the wall.
Yeah, that was a ridiculously good play as he caught it and then had to put his glove and his non-glove hand on the wall to stop him from face planting into the wall. An unfortunate out for the Blues, who only have 5 left to try to overcome this Seagull lead.
And they needed that one. Casey Borba gives him a shot, a guy who can hit the ball around the yard for extra bases and who can hit it at 100-plus exit velocity with a wooden bat. Now retired on that pop-flying foul ground. But Max Lane, another guy who can hit the ball awfully hard, is standing in now with 1 out here, and he does so down the left field line, and it falls for a base hit. Max Lane's second hit of the day as he aggressively rounds first, a 1-out single for the Harvard Crimson.
So what I'm talking about, Max Lane needs to get. He's still trying to get his feet under him, and right there just roped a single down the left field line. Back-to-back hits. Hopefully, this is a trend that we can continue to see with Lane, who had an incredible year this past year at his college.
That's Lane's 5th hit of the season. He entered this ball game with only 3 in his 18 at bats. 2 hard hit singles down the left field line, and the Blues are in business here in the bottom of the 8th. Owen Estabrook takes all the way on that fastball in the other batter's box, smothered by Stanley. 1 ball, no strikes. Estabrook, he's hitless on the day. A strikeout looking, an error from the shortstop, fielder's choice, and a pop out to right field, as limping behind home plate is Shane Stanley after diving for that fastball in the dirt.
With that hit, Max Lane becomes the first Blues batter to have multiple hits in this ball game, although the 11 runs.
6 hits, 11 runs for San Luis Obispo, 16 hits for San Francisco. This one's hard hit on the left field line, and that's going to be foul. Home plate umpire immediately flashes his hands in the air on a ball that looked similar to Max Lane, just a bit more curve to it as it landed in foul ground. We'll do it again at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Very close to being fair and very close to putting runners on the corners. With 1 out, Lane will have to, or not Lane, excuse me, Estabrook will have to collect his bat and head back into the right-handed batter's box in a now 1-1 count.
Outfield for San Francisco now aggressively shading to the left. Landry pretty much in the left center gap, and Tinsley is just hugging the left field chalk as the 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Owen Estabrook.
Now I got to think anything that touches down in the right center field gap is going to be extra bases regardless of how hard it's hit because of how far Landry's playing over.
2-1 is softly bounced to Holm at shortstop. He'll go to second for 1. On to first, not in time. Owen Estabrook with a chop ground ball to home, and he'll gets the force out at second in Max Lane. Now 2 gone here and a runner at first in Estabrook.
Estabrook's second fielder's choice of the day. He's reached base safely 3 times, but hasn't walked, hasn't got a hit. He's reached on an error and 2 fielder's choices.
Brendan Comerford, the designated hitter, batting 7th for San Luis Obispo, and Ohlone College Renegade, entering his sophomore season up north. Walked, was hit by a pitch, flew out to left, and popped out to right field today. Looks at the fastball downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes to Comerford. An electrifying season at Ohlone for his first year of college. The St. Mary's College bounce back. 1-0, moves out of the way of that fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Comerford leads the team in doubles with 7, paired with 11 RBIs and 1 triple. 2-0, very early on that changeup for strike 1 is Comerford, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that was that count you were talking about earlier, 2-0, a count that you liked. Comerford thought he got his pitch on the fastball, but it was a changeup and it just ducked below the bat.
Soft throw to first, not in time to get Owen Estabrook. Yeah, and even with a 2-0 count, if you're a hitter, you're ready to grip and rip and get something you like. You can't just aimlessly be ready to swing. Of course, you're thinking yes, 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 no until the pitch comes in. This one's hit hard out to left. Tinsley getting a lot of work out there on the right, makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Owen Estabrook gets stranded on first, but Max Lane has a hard hit single. A little bit of noise for the Blues, but it's still 14-11 San Francisco, heading into the top of the 9th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Top of the 9th here, San Francisco Seagulls lead the SLO Blues 14-11. Leading things off for San Francisco, it's Josh Hansen, Andrew Tinsley, then Logan Stelling, due to face Jace Evangelista, who came in to replace Ericus Pajunas last inning. Hansen struck out looking, walked, popped out to third, popped out to center, and grounded out to short in his 5 plate appearances today. Still searching for his first base hit, the USC Trojan commit. He's up 2-0 here to Jace Evangelista in the top of the 9th inning. Evangelista comes home, and this one's chopped in front of home plate. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Looking to keep this at a 3-run ball game and give the Blues a chance in the bottom half of the 9th to tie it or take the lead.
Hansen awaits the 2-1 offering. Long swing and a miss on the off speed for strike 2. Entering this game, a .286 batting average, 10 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and 1 home run. 9 runs batted in for the San Francisco native. Reached on air 4 times as well. Has only stolen 1 bag, was caught stealing once as well. Dodges the fastball inside. Count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. intimate back end of this game as the fans trickle out of Sinsheimer on this 84-degree afternoon in SLO. Payoff pitch is taken for strike 3. Hansen tossed his back to get ready for the walk, but the home plate umpire catches him looking.
Home plate umpire had other plans, and the fans that were still here yelling out hot sauce, and he delivers.
Andrew Tinsley, the left fielder, who is 4 for 5 on the day. He broke his hitting streak in this ball game with a pop out to center field back in the 7th inning. But before that, he was 4 for 4, 4 runs scored, 2 runs batted in, and 2 stolen bags. The left fielder committed to Texas A&M Corpus Christi takes a look at strike 1 down the middle of the plate. Batting a .226 clip heading to this game in 31 at-bats, a double, 1 run batted in, 8 walks to his 4 strikeouts. Fastball outside from Evangelista, 2 balls and 1 strike. And those are just the signs of a good hitter in the modern era in his career, 2-year career with the Aggies at Murray State College. 34 walks to his 29 strikeouts, fueling his .421 on base and .326 batting average. Hits this one hard on the left side, and Ardois stops it on the backhand, but he can't make the throw over to first. There's an infield base hit for Andrew Tinsley. That's his 5th of the day in 6 at-bats.
Ridiculous. He's feeling himself up there at the plate. That one not hit all that hard, but with Borba playing on the infield grass, it snuck by him, and Ardois had no chance once he fielded the ball.
It was hit hard right off the bat, and it caught a thick chunk of grass on the infield, slowed it down dramatically as Ardois had to adjust and make the play on the backhand, but couldn't get his body across to make the throw over to first. He just held it as Tinsley's in there with his 5th base knock of the day. So Tinsley at first base as the ball gets away from Estabrook. Tinsley can easily advance to second base on the pass ball, as Logan Hart is pinch hitting for Logan Stelling, the right fielder, who was 1 for 3 on the day. He had a RBI single, a strikeout swinging, a hit by pitch, fly out to right field, and a walk. His day is now over, and Logan Hart, who started last night, replaces Stelling as he takes a look at ball 2. Logan Hart, a future Modesto Junior College Pirate, as he swings and hits this 2-0 on the right side, eats up Jeffries, but he's got it. Throw over to Getz for the 2nd out of the inning. Logan Hart pinch hits for Logan Stelling, no relation, and hits a ground ball to Jeffries for the 2nd out of the inning.
Really good job by Jeffries to corral that ground ball. It just caught right past the lip on that infield grass and ate him up, almost hit him right in the face, but he got his glove up, was able to make the play.
Tinsley now at third with Matt Moreno stepping up. He's got 2 hits on the day and has reached on error twice in this ball game. First pitch hit on the left side. Borba's got it on the short hop, throw to first in time. Nice snag from Casey Borba, who caught it on the hop that almost ate him up in the face. The Seagulls are retired in a 14-11 ball game. It's the Blues' last chance heading into the bottom of the 9th inning. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the ninth is brought to you by Plan Perfect. Be sure to contact Sherry Tollerman at 949-223-8397. That's 949-223-8397 or at PlanPerfectRetirement.com. Plan Perfect, corporate retirement plan specialists. Jake Hixenbaugh swings at the first pitch and sends it foul out of play. No balls and one strike. New pitcher in for the San Francisco Seagulls. It's Will Ellis. If that name sounds familiar, that's because it should. He appeared last night in relief for the Seagulls as well and gets another crack at it here against the Blues. He went 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts against San Luis Obispo. As Jake Hixenbaugh signals to the dugout, that was a changeup, doing his job as the leadoff man to see as many pitches as possible from the new right-hander, and 6th pitcher to come out of the bullpen for San Francisco this afternoon. Will Ellis, another Oklahoma kid from Oklahoma Baptist, getting a shot here against the Blues in the bottom of the ninth. Up by 3 against San Luis Obispo as Hixenbaugh taps this one on the right side. Holmes got it, throw a first across his body in time to get the right fielder from Monterey Peninsula College. 1 away here in the 9th inning. Leadoff ground out for Jake Hixenbaugh as that gives way to Braden Jeffries, the 9-hole hitter and second baseman for San Luis Obispo, committed to the University of Michigan. He's 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single back in the 7th inning. He also grounded out to third and had 2 walks in back-to-back innings, came around to score on both of those. He fouls the first offering from Ellis straight back, no balls and 1 strike.
Definitely the guy you want up to the plate, acting as a second leadoff guy tonight with Jariah Lewis waiting on deck.
Fastball missing upstairs to Jeffries, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jariah has 1 hit on the day, 1 RBI as well. He came around to score twice. He also walked. Another fastball missing outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to the Michigan Wolverine. More on Will Ellis, the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, excuse me. He's a transfer from Murray State College. And he's here as smoked into right field is Braden Jeffries. A 1-out knock for the Wolverine, his 2nd of the day.
Gets on base, exactly what he needed to do for Jariah Lewis, and then Sam Ardois who follows.
A 1-out base runner for San Luis Obispo, coming hot off the left-handed bat from Braden Jeffries. Flip it over to the top of the lineup for Jariah Lewis, the center fielder from San Jose State. First pitch swinging, spoils this one into the parking lot. No balls and 1 strike. That is Jeffries' 12th hit of the season in his 6th start with San Luis Obispo.
Averaging 2 hits a game, that's pretty darn good.
I'd say. Fastball missing outside to Jariah Lewis, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jariah heading to this game, 7 of 35, 3 runs batted in, 2 triples. 1-1, fouled straight back into the netting, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A good sign on that foul back. Just a little underneath it, but had it timed up perfectly.
Haven't seen the speed too much from Braden Jeffries. Not quite sure what kind of runner he is quite yet. He has no stolen bags, and he hasn't had a lot of running opportunities at second base. As the 1-2 is Chuck Swong right at home plate. Tapped right in front of the catcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jariah Lewis.
Jariah getting a little lucky there that his bat made contact with the ball. If not, it probably would have been a check swing strike 3.
Gets another life here as it caught some lumber here in the 1-2 count. Blues trailing 14-11 to San Francisco. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Second out of the inning comes off Jariah Lewis's 2nd K of the day.
Not the way that Jariah wanted to go back to the dugout. Now you only have 1 out remaining. The tying run still looming on deck.
It all comes down to Sam Ardois to keep things alive here in the 9th inning. He's reached base safely in all 5 of his plate appearances today. A walk in the first, an RBI single, a hit by pitch, 2 hit by pitches, and an error by the second baseman Holm. He's down 0-1 to the new pitcher, Will Ellis, the sixth arm to come out of the bullpen today, and he chases the fastball at his eyes. No balls and 2 strikes to Sam Ardois. Dylan Getz waiting on deck. Doesn't have a hit today. Ardois wants to keep it alive. He hits this one off the hands and foul ground down the first baseline, foul.
Really good job to stay alive and give himself another opportunity. Just 1 strike remaining in this ball game.
Here's the 0-2, hit right back up the middle, right past Ellis, and the shortstop Bose has got it. Throw to first in time to retire Ardois, and the game is over. The Seagulls get 2 over the San Luis Obispo Blues in this 15-11 matchup. The Gulls take this one in the CCL North action.
A rough game for the Blues all around, even though the 11 runs only did it on 7 hits. The defense wasn't there with the 4 errors. The pitching hadn't looked as sharp as we've seen previous. But there are some takeaways from this game, like Ericus Pajunas, who had a really good outing in his 1 inning, and Jace Evangelista as well, who had a good outing in his 2 innings of work.
Yeah, the Blues just couldn't get it done enough offensively. You can get 11 runs and go, hey, that's just not enough. It's just hard to say. But once again, the errors just plagued SLO again. 4 errors for the Blues in this ball game, helping the Seagulls bring across those 15 runs.
Yeah, the errors are something they have got to clean up if they want to be successful in the second half of this summer. We've seen it be an issue, but not as big of an issue as we saw in today's ballgame.
The pitching that has been so good for the Blues all season are starting to see the wheels come off. And Ryan, do you have any signs as to why this might be happening, especially within the past 2 games?
Simply put, I think it's they can't find the strike zone. They're having a hard time getting pitches for over the plate for strikes. They're having a tough time getting ahead in counts. And once you fall behind in the count, the batter immediately becomes more swing happy and is more likely to get a pitch that they like and drive it into a gap or just into the outfield for base hits.
Well, and it's funny, the pitching mostly saw damage from the hitters 5 through 9 in tonight's lineup, and really it was Andrew Tinsley who lived in the nightmares of the Blues. He collected 5 base hits in his 6 at-bats tonight for the Seagulls, and he's fueling that hit total for hitters 5 through 9. The hitters in that part of the lineup had, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 base hits for the San Francisco Seagulls, while the hitters 1 through 4 only had 3 knocks amongst the 3 of them. Not only were there only 3 base hits between 1 through 4, there was also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts between that group as well.
They weren't as productive as the bottom half today, and the bottom half gets it done for them. They ended up putting up 14 runs on those 16 hits, and they get the job done here in San Luis Obispo.
So now the Blues will have a 2-game road trip at Walnut Creek to face the Crawdads, who have outright possession of first place after beating the Menlo Park Legends. Blues and the Legends are both half a game out of first in the CCL North, but San Luis Obispo's looking to change that on Tuesday and Wednesday as they face the Crawdads in this midweek matchup. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this edition of Blues Baseball on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. For Ryan Giacomini, I'm Nate Mills. Have a